Hey all, welcome back to my channel. It's Adventure Every Day at Joey's Adventure. But today I just came back from the doctor and I want to give you all news about that and give you all news about what I've been doing with my life, what I've been up to, because I've been uploading videos but not really talking about myself lately in these videos and stuff like that. So I'm going to give you all an update about me and stuff like that. So if you're watching my content, it's the amazing abandoned buildings and stuff. This isn't going to be in this video, but I got a beautiful abandoned watchtower that I'm walking to soon. It's the abandoned fire watchtower I'll be going to soon, and a couple other abandoned things I'll be uploading soon. And for those who love car repair videos, I'm going to be doing a couple of them soon. I'm going to be doing some music soon. I'm going to be doing some history lessons soon. All different kinds of things, so stay tuned so y'all can see that. Now, for those of you who are just getting to meet me and stuff like that, and you're just seeing this and never seen me before, my name is Joey. I am considered legally blind, but I don't let it impact me at all. So if the camera's ever off, I do apologize. But I do songwriting, history lesson, auto repair, hiking, many amazing things. I don't let my disability impact me at all. When my mom met my stepfather years ago, my stepfather is that person who got me to say, hey, don't hold yourself back. Just because you're visually impaired, don't hold yourself back. But then my vision got worse. My stepfather passed away in 2012, the same year I graduated from high school in 2012. So then I lost my stepfather, 2013, my left eye, lost all the vision in the front, but I still had some vision in the right eye, but not that best. Like, it was vision, but it was okay. Like, I could read large print and stuff like that, but nothing out of my left eye. Well, move forwards to this year, I went for an eye exam to get glasses, and I found out I had a torn retina in my left eye. So then I went to another eye doctor that was out in Skodak. And that doctor, I don't know, I guess he could have been okay, but I don't know, because I lost my eyesight in my right eye after I left him. I don't know if that was a coincidence or something went wrong during that, because now I have no vision in my right eye in the front. But that's okay, that's okay. Listen, I went to a new eye doctor today in Latham, and that's a doctor I've been wanting to go to for a while. This doctor in Latham is a very good doctor. Very good doctor. And this doctor I went to today, he looked at the pictures. They even took a, what do you call that thing? They put gel on my eye. An ultrasound. They took an ultrasound of my eye. I never knew you could take an ultrasound of your eye, you all. They took an ultrasound of my eye, and they were able to tell I had a torn retina. Then it has a hole in the center of the retina. So they said if they operate, it would come undone. Chances it might not, but it could. But right now, they don't suggest getting the surgery done. So we'll see what goes on there and stuff like that. So I'm going to meet up in a year, and we're going to do a follow-up, and he's going to look at everything, see how everything's going and stuff like that. But no, I do not have no vision in front of me. I can't, if you put your hand in front of me, I won't be able to see that. I can't read print anymore. Now, 3-4 months ago, my right eye, I was able to see the TV and everything, see stuff like that. But all of a sudden, my vision in my right eye just went, bloop, like you turn off a light bulb or something. Everything went gone. But I never even let it impact me. Yo, my fans like, what do you mean you lost your vision in your right eye? I'm like, what do you mean I didn't? And they're like, well, how you still doing everything the same? Wouldn't you be depressed and sitting there feeling sorry? Why would I feel sorry for myself? It's life. I can't say, hey, this just happened to me, so I'm going to feel sorry. Look at all the things I've been through in my life. For those of you just tuning in, look at my experiences from being bullied, look at from being homeless. Yo, I faced many challenges in my life, but you know what? From those challenges, they built me up and got that spark inside of me that never gives up. Like, I got something inside me that just keeps me going. I don't know what it is, but it keeps me going each day. From all the hard experiences I have faced in my life, I don't let things impact me. So if something happens, okay, something goes on, but I gotta find a way to work around what happens or goes on, and I gotta find a way to, like, work a way around it. Do I still go hiking by myself? Yes. Matter of fact, my Aunt Joanne said to me the other day, she reached out. I was adopted, so it ain't my biological aunt, it's my adopted aunt. I really don't know my biological family. I really don't know. My adopted family I do, but some of my biological family I met, but not many of them. But my Aunt Joanne said, you can't go hiking. That's dangerous. He goes hiking by himself. My dad was telling me about it. I'm like, well, I guess she hasn't seen the blind people hike the Appalachian Trail with their seeing eye dog. I guess she hasn't seen the blind people climb Mount Everest. I guess she hasn't seen the blind person who climbed all these mountains, the Andes, or this blind person who kayaked down the Grand Canyon and stuff and the rapids and stuff. Disabilities only limit us if we let them. Now, I'm not saying go do something that's going to put yourself in harm's way. No, I'm not saying that at all. There are ways to overcome any disability any of us have. The safe and proper way of using your head and thinking and knowing your boundaries and knowing what you can and can't do. And sometimes reaching out to ask for assistance from others is not bad. Like, for instance, that dirt road that I hiked, that was abandoned. I called the New York State Forest Preserve when I did the Friday the 13th hike, but I did 3 other hikes that day, so I was exhausted by the end of the day. I was exhausted by the time I did that hike for y'all on Friday the 13th, but I love hiking. So I called him, I said, is it anything I should be known of? And he said, what do you mean, sir? I said, I'm visually impaired. Wow, that's cool, and you're going to hike that? I said, yeah. And he's like, well, sir, I'm going to look it up right now for you and let you know if there's any dangerous spots I need to warn you about. And he said, looking at it, it don't show nothing dangerous. You might have some trees or something out because nobody's been back there in years. They said when you get to the top, it's only one way back down. You're going to go all the way back down. And I said, okay. And he said, we have a fence at the beginning to stop cars from driving up because we had problems with people dumping stuff up there years ago. I said, oh, that's fine with me. I'll just have my mom park it. And he said, yeah, it's a little parking area right by the fence. Anyone can hike in and stuff like that. It was called Han Howell something. I don't know. They have 3 Han Howells in New York State. And this Han Howell was an abandoned dirt road with a cell tower at the end. And it was pretty cool. I hiked it and stuff like that. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. And I also hiked the Corkscrew Trail, many different parts. I just found out there's a new part of the Corkscrew Trail that I haven't done yet. I'm going to do that. But the fire tower is on County Route 5, and I'm going to be hiking that soon. Then I found out they got amazing hiking trails in Massachusetts. I'm going to hike them too. But I want to be one of the blind people to hike the Appalachian Trail. Yes, you just heard me. I want to challenge myself to see if I can hike the entire Appalachian Trail end to end. And we're going to see if I can. I know I can. We'll find out if I can, though. I know I can, but what I'm saying is with my kidneys, I have problems with my kidneys. I have something on my kidney. They don't know what it is yet. They're not sure. They got to take a sample. If it's bigger, they're going to take a sample to see what it is. Then I got my ribs that got broken back when I was in school. They healed on top of each other, never healed right, and stuff like that. And I got my heart, just a little problem with my heart, but that's all. It works. It pumps. It just skips a couple beats every now and then. It's fine. But the doctor said we're just keep an eye on it and stuff like that. But a lot my health does not impact me. I know I can hike the Appalachian Trail. I don't think it can because I go hiking around here and stuff like that. And I don't think it can impact me, but I'm going to make sure I'm prepared and have everything I need so I can go hiking and do it. And it'd be pretty cool to hike it and have you all watching live, like do little parts of the trail and upload it once I get sensors and do more and more because I gotta charge my phone, which I got a solar panel I can charge my phone with, so you all can be hiking with me. I can, as long as there's sensors, I can do I can do YouTube Live for all my people who follow me on YouTube. I also do Facebook. I'm getting a new Spotify and SoundCloud account because someone who helped me set them up kind of erased them on me. So now I'm doing it all myself. I'm figuring out how to do that all and make my own again. And I got great songs that will be coming out soon. Very encouragement, but I'm trying to find people. They need people to do duets with a lot of them. And one duet I really want to do in this song, I ain't going to release it till I know if I can or can't. The singer Halsey, I owe a lot to her. I want to do a duet with her, and I got a song about both of our experiences because I did not read the book. My phone read the book to me that Halsey wrote. It's an app called Lookout, and I had it on my phone. And Halsey wrote a book, and my phone read the book to me. And I have found myself in a lot of the same experiences Halsey has went through. And growing up, we went through some of the same experiences, moving around a lot, being bullied in school, and many other things. So I relate to this singer a lot. And I recently reached out to her music producer. I found out who it was and left the message at the company that works with all the singers, not just her, and I left the message. I don't know if it'll be answered or not. I said, hey, I got this great idea of a song. I would love to do a duet with Halsey. I don't know if I can or can't, but would it be something you all could bring up and tell her about? And I don't know if she will respond or not. Maybe they won't tell her, maybe they will, but I'm sure if they tell her, she'll respond. But she is a very busy person. She has a lot of health issues of her own going on right now and stuff like that. I really wanted to go to Las Vegas concert that she went to and she sang a couple of songs to, but I didn't have the funds to go over there from New York to Las Vegas is pretty far, and not being able to drive is even harder, but yeah. And coming up soon, I'll be doing some more automotive repair videos, and you all can watch that. And what else is coming up soon? I'm mailing a box. I'm not sure if I already said that. I might have already said it. If I did, I do apologize. To my friend's place. Halsey's birthday was September 29th. So if you all follow Halsey, she turned 30 years old on September 29th. And for appreciation to her, I mailed stuff to my friend's place in September. Now we're in October. Now I'm mailing them stuff from me for my birthday when I turned 30 on October 25th. And my friend's place is an organization that helps homeless teens and young adults, and they help get them back on their feet and help get the right resources they need and stuff like that. And it's a great organization. The staff there is amazing, very nice, very kind. If I knew about my friend's place back when I was a kid, I would have reached out to them. And I mean it, I would have. With certain things going on in my life, I would have reached out to them. Now, as you all know who follow me and stuff like that, but I'm sure they would have helped me, but long story short, we're past that. I made it past all the challenges in life, like literally being bullied, physical and non-physical, and homeless, and other things going on. I made it through many challenges in my life. And I feel these challenges are to build me up to the person I am today, so I can use my experience, use my story to help others. Now, like I said the other day, I've been trying to find a job. And the only thing I'm having trouble finding these days is a job. And I said to a place I was trying to get a job at, and they said, "We can't hire you. You're blind. What can you do?" I said, "Haven't we learned from what Helen Keller did many years ago? Haven't we learned that we should not discriminate people with disabilities? Haven't we learned these things shouldn't go on? Shouldn't everybody have the same chance?" I said, "Let me volunteer a month, no pay, and let me show you what I can do. Then if the job is not fit for me, you can just say it, so I can show you what I can and can't do." And they still wouldn't do it. They said I'm a liability. But now garages in the next state from me will hire me. Garages will hire me to work, but places in New York will not. So you're telling me a garage working on cars will hire me because they see my skill, they see what I have in a degree. But I go to New York to get a job. Everybody's saying that I'm a liability. I'm not sure if it's everybody. Maybe I'll get blessed with a good job one of these days. But for now, it's very hard finding a job. And I want a job. I want to be financially independent. I'm not sure if many of you know. Back in 2016, I lost everything. Lost everything. New York State stepped in because a couple of people said a blind person can't take care of himself, can't manage his own money, can't do this, can't do that. So in 2016, I lost all my income. $0. I went to go pay my light bill. I was not able to. When I went to go pay my light bill, it was denied the card. I called the light company. I knew my credit card number by heart, put it in, couldn't pay the light bill. I said, this has to be a mistake. So then I get my mom to drive me to the bank and stuff like that, find out there's no money in the bank. So then I call and they're like, "Oh, Joseph, we found out that you're blind and blind people can't manage money. So New York State picked the county to be your payee and be in charge of you." I'm like, how can you do that without even me signing anything? Like, is that even possible? And they're like, "Well, Joseph." So then I ended up happening. It was a whole can of worms and stuff like that. And come to find out, they tricked me. Because someone came to my house a couple days before I lost my check and said, "Joe, you want to hang out?" I said, "No, I really can't. I got things going on." I said, "Oh, come on. It'll be a night. I'll bring you home tomorrow." Then they said, "Oh, we got a doctor's appointment we got to go to. Would you go to my doctor's with me? I need you to help me carry things in and stuff." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Oh, if I get to go home, sure." So then I ended up going there. And they said I couldn't leave. I was refused to be able to leave this office on my own will. They said I could not leave until I signed this paper. Well, my eyesight can't read small print. Back then, it was 2016. I had my right eye. If it was font 72, I could read it. If it was smaller, it had to be font 36 with a magnifier, and I could read it. Well, they wouldn't let me go. So I said, "What does this paper say?" "Oh, it's just a thing saying that you don't want our help and you can leave. Just sign on this line, and that's all we need." I said, "I'm not signing anything away or signing anything that I regret, will I?" And I didn't have a lookout on my phone back then. I had a flip phone. I wish I had a smartphone because it would have read it and I would have refused to sign it. But then they're saying, just sign it, son, because you can get out of here. We don't want you here as much as you don't want to be here. So I signed that paper, and come to find out, it was all my freedom away. These people tricked me, and that one person wanted me to hang out with them, tricked me, and they got everything of mine taken away. Literally, I was homeless in 2015 because the place got shut down by code. And I did the best out, went to a hotel and stayed in a couple abandoned places, got back on my feet, got my own apartment again, a mobile home that was $500 a month to rent, and it had 2 additions on it. It had a 10 by 16 bedroom, it was an addition, then a 16 by 30 addition that was called the family room. And it was a beautiful mobile home I was living in with 6.5 acres of land. It had a driveway that didn't even count as a land, a mile and a half driveway to get back to. It was awesome. I loved that place. And I lost it because New York State took my income away. And the people who they picked to be a payee were not paying the rent proper, and I got evicted from there for unpaid rent. The people that the state picked for my payee. And I was working, and they even took my paycheck. So I went to go get my paycheck, and my boss like, what do you mean? The state gets your paycheck now. Yo, I was working and everything. They took my paycheck away, and they said I was only allowed $100 a month to live off of. I said, where's the rest? Oh, we're going to save it, so if you need something, you get it. I'm like, mm-hmm. So I was very fresh. I'm like, oh my, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? I was panicking at first. I ain't going to lie. I was like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? So then I had an idea. I said, I'm going to fight this. I'm going to go right down. I'm going to do wherever I have to go to these offices and do interviews. And he said, sir, we are not going to see if you're fit to be your own payee or blind. I said, this is discrimination here. How are you telling me I can't manage something, but I run a cash register at this store, and I stock the shelves. I run New York State Lottery's money, and I do all this being blind, and they have talking cash register and money identifiers and everything, so this way I know what the money is and everything. What do you mean I can't manage my own money? The drawer is never off. I never had a problem before. So how are you telling me this is a problem today? And they wouldn't talk to me. They wouldn't do an interview. They wouldn't see if I was fit to be my own payee. Then I brought my cousin Walter from my adopted side of the family, who worked for Ford Motor Company at a Ford dealership and has his own kids. They said he wasn't approved to be my payee. Then I brought my father, who adopted me. He wasn't fit to be a payee. My friend who owns a restaurant wasn't fit to be a payee. Everybody I was reaching out to, they wouldn't let be my payee. They said, it's final. The county's your payee, and that's who's in charge of you. I said, but they didn't even pay my rent. I have eviction papers right here. And I went, and the judge said, sir, you're going to have to fight for your check. This is an unfair eviction, but you got to leave because they're taking your money and you can't pay. So then the state found me an apartment, and you're all going to love this. The state of New York, I read up, and I said it right to the landlord that the state gave me. I said, by the law in New York State, you need heat and hot water working. It don't have to be included by a landlord, but you need heat and hot water for apartment in New York State. Well, the apartment the state gave me was a studio apartment. No heat, no hot water, no oven, no sink. Yo, I got pictures of that. My mother came in. She was ashamed. What my mother, who adopted, she's seen that. She took pictures of it. And I went to everywhere I could. The county tried to go against that, and nothing happened. Then I had landlords, like a landlord named Rich. He was going to let me rent his apartment. That was $600 a month, heat and hot water included. Had heat, had hot water, first floor apartment, everything. It was a 2-family house, and the county wouldn't approve the apartment. Then I was going to move into an apartment complex and go through Section 8 till I could get, all my income back and everything. Nope. They never filled that because I couldn't fill out the paper because they took everything away from me. My mail went to the county. My mail, once again, went to the county. Yes. So I lost the privilege of even getting my own mail. I could read it with a magnifying glass because they did large print to adapt. I lost that privilege of reading my own mail. And unfortunately, it was hard to deal with at first. Very hard. Yes, I was a little bit depressed and hurt. But then I said, wait a minute. I made it through all these trauma experiences I went through in my childhood. I made it through all this. I made it through losing the stepfather that meant so much to me. I made it through that. I lost my left eye and I made it through that. I can make it through this. 2021, guess what? I reached out to a lawyer in Massachusetts. Somebody told me to reach out to. And he said, son, tell them you have me. and tell them that we're going to bring discrimination against the state of New York if you do not get your income back and they don't drop this stuff. Because there's no reason you shouldn't have your money. They are discriminating you. They made it where I ended up work, right? They took it. I'm blind. I don't drive. $100 a month. How's that going to pay for transportation to go back and forth to work? Answer me that. If they took my paychecks and everything away and they only gave me $100 a month out of it, how am I supposed to pay for transportation back and forth because I didn't live on bus line? How am I supposed to pay for gas for people to bring me? I couldn't. I couldn't do it. And when COVID hit, the job I was working at anyways closed down. I had to do odd jobs, a starter for $5, a belt put on, battery, working on cars for nothing, 10, $5, 15, $20, just to make enough money to get people to come so I could work on their cars or do lawn work dirt cheap, just so I could pay so I could go to work, so I could have my bills paid. Then, want to hear this one? My ex-girlfriend had to pay my light bill a couple of times, and I felt like a bum. And she said, why do you feel like a bum? I said, I'm working. I should have my money, and they're not even paying my lights, and they're going to get shut off if they don't get paid. I don't want someone else paying my bills. I feel like a bum. I don't want someone else paying my bills. I want to pay them myself. And I couldn't do it because they took my freedom away. I just couldn't do it. And it hurt real bad knowing my ex had to pay my lights so they wouldn't go off. My father had to help me with food because they didn't even give me enough money to get food. But they had thousands of dollars saved up. I called, oh, we got $8,000 saved up so far. Then pay for some food then. I mean, give me some money for food. Give me some money. Oh, no, Joseph, you can get food stamps. But if I'm working, why do I need food stamps? Why can't I buy my own food independently? I'm like, why can't I do that? And that's the stuff I went through when I lost my income. The reason I'm telling you about that is because losing my right eye a couple months ago, as you can see, is nothing compared to that. Yeah, it might be something that people who have perfect sight. Yeah, when I lost my left eye, it was a little bit hard, but I got used to it and adapted. So that's what I did with my right eye. I adapted. So I'm like, okay, this is how I am. This is the situation that I'm going to live in. This is my life. This is what I have to adapt to. I can't sit here and feel sorry for myself and just sit there and do nothing. I got to adapt and find a way to work around this obstacle in my life. Now, being bullied in school, physical and non-physical, kids putting their hands on me and doing worse, I'm not going to say because some things are too personal to keep personal. Both things that were going on and stuff like that. And I made it through that as a child. Yes. So I made it through that. So this eye thing is nothing. Yes, it is something. Don't get me wrong there, because would I love the freedom to be able to bring myself around? Would I love the freedom of my own transportation? Yes. But who I am is who I am. I can't do nothing about that. What I can do is live my life to its fullest potential and never let anything hold me back. And if I see other people going through struggles or have disabilities of their own, or even people who ain't disabled going through struggles, I would love to be the light that turns that light bulb on, that shows them things do get better, and to always think positive no matter how bad the situation can be, to always have a positive outlook on life, and to always think positive and never think negative. And I know it's harder to do than say. Trust me, sometimes I get real stressed out. Sometimes I get stressed out. I ain't gonna lie. But I sit there and think. I'll go and clear my head, listen to some music, or let's clear my head, or go for a walk or something, and I think about, wow, I made it through all this. This is nothing. I can overcome this. And then I think about, now this is what I always say before, if you ever have a disagreement with someone, you gotta do it like I do. Well, you don't have to, but this is what I do. If I have a disagreement with someone, I'll walk away. And then say, oh yeah, you're walking away because you know you're wrong. Nope, I don't even say nothing back. You know why? If you say something back, that's keeping the situation going and getting worse. When two people have a disagreement, the best thing to do is walk away and let you both cool down and then talk about it after. But if you both talk about when you're heated and upset, you guys might say stuff that you don't mean. So it's better to walk away and then talk about that thing that you guys disagreed on later if it needs to be addressed. If it don't need to be addressed, just let it go. Like say if the person says, oh, this car is made by Dodge. A while back, I had a friend saying Datsun is Dodge. Datsun is Nissan. But they started arguing, and I said, I'm not going to argue. They started raising their voice, screaming, yelling, Datsun is Dodge, Datsun is Dodge. I said, okay. I said, okay, it's okay, it doesn't matter, it's not, yes, it is a big deal. It's like, okay, I'm gonna head home now, we can hang out another time, stuff. You know what, I never brought it up to them again, because that's something that doesn't need to be addressed. But now if it's something like, if you're in a relationship and something needs to be addressed that's destroying the relationship, don't talk about when you guys are heated, find a peaceful way of bringing it up, like bring a little bit of it at a time. Like when I was in a relationship and stuff bugged me or stuff bugged the other partner that I was with last, we talked about it at a responsible way and didn't bring it all up to make each other feel down. We brought up a responsible way. But hey, I've been single for a couple of years now, and I like that. I know I'll get blessed with the right woman in my life soon. I'm waiting for the right one to come to my life. I tried the internet, you all, and that ain't good. Don't go on the internet unless maybe some people have better luck than me. I tried the internet. It wasn't a good idea. I met the wrong people that had bad things. Like, they weren't good people I ran into. So I said, never again will I do that. I'll wait to meet the right person in public at a public place. And that's how I take dating. Because I was in a relationship for 7 years, but there's a few things both. No relationship's perfect. Don't think a relationship can be perfect. All relationships have their up and down. But I'm telling you, if you're a woman, if a man ever puts his hands on you, that's the time you leave. It don't matter if he says I'm sorry or not. The first time a man puts his hands on you should be the last. It doesn't matter if he's drunk or anything. Because you know why? I was raised to never put a hand on a woman. No matter what she does to you, you don't do back. Hey, that shows back when I was a kid in school. When kids put their hands on me, I fought back. If it was a guy, yes. If it was a girl, I wouldn't do anything. Because why? It's not right to put your hands back on a female. It's wrong. And I would never do that. No matter what the circumstances was, I would never put my hands on a woman. And I won't ever in the future. I don't believe in it. It's wrong and disrespectful. Now, a relationship? Now, when my ex and I broke up, we had a couple disagreements. Like, okay, my mother at the time who adopted me was homeless. So I took her in a couple times. She had nowhere to go. My ex didn't like that much. But my mother who adopted me and took me in when I was a baby. My mother and father who adopted me, they split and broke up. But strangely, now they both live with me. And I was living in that ran down apartment with no heat, no hot water. I took my mother in. I took my father in. And then we found the place that we live at today. The good Lord blessed us with this. And it's a blessing having this home. It's a blessing. Now, will I be in this home in the future? Who knows? I don't know what the future has in store for me. I just am going with the flow. Whatever life has for me, whatever opportunities come, sometimes you gotta close old doors and open new doors for better opportunities. Now, why am I telling you this? Because say if an opportunity opens up with a job or something, it's not in New York. Why be in this house then? No, I'll be somewhere else. So I don't know what life has. Am I going to be here till I'm old? I don't know. Or am I going to have a better opportunity somewhere else? I don't know. If an opportunity comes, maybe I'll be somewhere else. That's why I can't say, hey, I'm going to be in this house my whole life. I can't say that because I don't know. If I said that, that'd be a lie. So I'm not going to say something I don't know is true. That's one thing about me. I'm very honest. I will say the truth no matter if it's good for me or not. Like, say someone asks something, I'll tell the truth. Even if someone else is there that won't like it. Like, I'm 100% honest. I won't tell a lie. Now, when I tell a fib, hey, say if I have kids in the future and they say, hey, are the cookies or cake or is the pie done or are the Rice Krispie treats done? And the dinner's not done. Oh, no, they're not done yet. I'm sorry. Which if they are done, because I believe you eat the meal first and you have snacks after. Now, is that telling a lie? Technically, yes. So technically, I guess that would be fibbing to the kids. But then I have kids in the future. I have no kids right now. Well, who knows what the future might bring? I don't know. I would love to have kids one day. I would love to have child of my own and stuff like that, children. But who knows what the future brings? I don't know. I know the future brings advocating because that's one thing I want to do. I want to speak up for what's right and help others. I want to speak up for what's right. I want to defend people who are too afraid to speak up. Some people are afraid to speak up for what's right. You know what? Nothing's wrong with that at all because you know why? Video. I want to be that voice for them. I want to be that. Say, if someone's not feeling secure at themselves, I want them to either look on my YouTube channel, all the things I do, being blind, being visually impaired, the things I can do. people who I know who have eyesight say when they're having a bad time, they watch my channel and it builds them up. I have went to the store. Yo, I went to the store a couple of times. One time I went to Walmart. This ain't no lie. I was with a friend of mine and stuff. We're going through Walmart and stuff like that. Someone comes up, Joey, is that you? I'm like, hello, yes, my name's Joey, but do we know each other? They're like, are you Joey the blind guy? I said, well, I am blind, but maybe there's another blind person. Are you mistaking you someone else? How do I know you? Are you on the internet? Are you a YouTuber? Are you on... I'm like, yeah. They had me sign something like, well, my handwriting ain't the best being blind. I can't see where I'm writing now because I lost my eyes, both eyes and stuff. So is it, and I don't care. As long as it's your signature, that's all I want. I'm like, that's cool. And another thing that happened recently, a person named Noah gave me a YouTube shout out. Shout out to Noah. Noah's the amazing person. They have a very bright career ahead of them. And I heard one of the songs, Noah's song, and it was amazing, the song that he sung. And it was awesome. And I see a very bright music career ahead. If Noah, you want to follow music, I suggest it. I really do. Now, I also went to a Dollar General recently, and a guy comes up behind me, hey, Joey, how you doing? I'm like, hello, nice to meet you. And he's like, do you know who I am? I said, no. And he's like, I watch you on YouTube. I'm like, oh, that's cool, that's cool. And he's like, and then I also ran into someone that follows me on YouTube now, and then that was at Dollar General also. And I bought a couple of antique swords and stuff off them, which I still have them. They're the ones I did the video in history on about 2 years ago, I think it was. I did the videos. Might have been a year ago. I don't know. I ain't going to say if I'm not positive. But I did the history on Tomahawk and stuff like that. And did the history on that. Hang on, y'all. My cat wants to come in my office. Come on in. I like keeping this door shut because when you have family living with you, I like keeping things quiet when I do YouTube videos, so this way people watching me don't have background noise and stuff like that. But now, the eye doctor I went to today was amazing. I give them double 5-star reviews. Double 5-star reviews. The eye doctor today was amazing. Double 5 stars. Double 5 stars, definitely. Dr. Kival, Dr. Federici and them, they're awesome doctors. I highly recommend if you know someone with a retina eye disease. I retina pigmentosa and end-cone rod dystrophy. Now, the end-cone rod dystrophy and retina pigmentosa, it's attacking the cells in the retina. Now, I read up, and I didn't read up. There's a lie. I didn't read it. My phone read it. So I looked up retina replacements. They do retina surgeries in South Korea. It's under experimental. And it has brought back vision to people with retina diseases. So see what that does when it leads to that. We'll wait to see how that goes. Now, Elon Musk did a thing recently called a thing to help blind people see. It's a thing, but I don't know, it's your Neuralink.
How to tell if someone could video, window camera.
It's under Neuralink. Sorry about that. My phone gave because right where I live don't have the best cell service. When it jumps to cell service and jumps out of cell service, it did something. It was picking up. I did a video recently how to tell if someone put a tracker on your car. And sometimes my phone will tell me my own videos that I upload. It comes to my notifications. It's pretty cool, but yeah. But sorry about that. But now my eye disease, it attacks the retina. From what I hear, collects the light and turns it into vision for you, like outside of your... I'm not 100% sure. I ain't no doctor, but that's what I believe it is. But now, I want to give a shout out to a couple of YouTubers that are amazing. They're blind, and they're YouTubers. Yes, like me. Gabby Mendonca, My Vision For You, it's called. Gabby Mendonca, My Vision For You. She's a blind YouTuber, and she does many amazing things. Molly Burke is another amazing blind YouTuber. She's been surfing, she travels, she's an advocate, she speaks up for what's right. She does many amazing things. And it's called My Vision For You is Gabby, and Molly Burke is the other one. Sorry, my cat jumped on my lap. I apologize for that, you all. But, hang on, you gotta go down. I'm doing a video. Come on. I guess she ain't gonna move. But, now, another one is Tommy Edison. No, it's not Thomas Edison. His name's Tommy Edison. He goes on YouTube. He's blind also. And those I want to give a shout out to. Noah, I also want to give a shout out to because Noah recently did a YouTube video for me and gave me a shout out. Hey y'all, this is my cat if you want to see her. Ooh, she's hit me with her tail, y'all. But I rescued this cat. Sorry for getting off topic. But now, back to my eye disease. We're talking about what's been going on in my life recently. Well, my eye disease, like I said, is getting worse over the time. But come on, cat. There we go. She jumped down. Okay. What's above my head? Oh, my posters. And the J for Joey. Okay. But my eye disease has been getting worse over the years. Sometimes I wonder if it's from a car wreck I got into in 2012. The year my stepfather died, a friend of mine asked me, did I want to go for ice cream? Before my stepfather passed away, my stepfather was scared right, and he heard what happened. I do not drink. I won't ever touch alcohol. I don't believe in alcohol. But this friend of mine, I asked him, I said, were you drinking today? And he said, no, not at all, not at all. So this is why, friends, family, listeners, please don't ever get into a car with someone you don't know if they're drunk or not. I took this as a lesson.
Video.
I won't ever get in a car with someone if I know they're an alcoholic. Because you know why? Not all alcoholics will drive. Not all of them will drive drunk, but some will. And from my experience getting into a car wreck with one, but I was always blind since birth. Not blind, but visually impaired. But I had my eyes when I was born was like looking out 2 paper towel rolls. I could see straight ahead, and that's it. But one thing that makes me think I was misdiagnosed with the wrong eye disease, because my eye disease, you're not supposed to have peripheral vision. I have peripheral vision, and that's all I have is a little bit. Some is telling me I got another retina disease, but it's so hard to tell because the retina and stuff's in the back of the eye. I'm starting to wonder if I have a different eye disease, but I don't know. Or find out, I guess. But, long story short, it's like looking through 2 paper towel rolls when I was born. Straight ahead, nothing side to side. And as I got older, think of it as a little bit blurrier. And needing stuff enlarged. I had a CCTV, it was called the Prism, that I had at school. And it was pretty cool. It read things. Like, it didn't read things, but I read things. I'm sorry. It's been a long day going to the eye doctor and stuff like that. But I read things and stuff like that. And what I read was large print. I was able to read print with enlarging it. And it was pretty cool. But the school took away my freedom. Once again, another thing that hit me. When I hit 9th grade, I went from high honor student. They stuck me in a class where I had job coach. I had to go out and work, you all, and not get paid. I had to go clean Burger King's toilets, clean their sinks, take the garbage, clean the tables. When I was supposed to be getting paid for as an education, not paid to work, because I was working for free. But when we go to school, we get paid. Kids, you guys might not know it, but when you go to school, you're getting something. You're getting paid. You're getting an education. You're getting an education that's going to help you succeed in life. So always look at, when you go to school, you're actually getting paid. You're getting an education. So I was supposed to be getting that education I deserved for getting myself and going to that school. But with all the bullying, think 6th grade has started the bullying, physical and non-physical. So I made their 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, high honor students. Because 6th grade, I really didn't go to school that much because I didn't feel safe. I felt afraid, scared, and everything like that. Then things that were going on physical and non-physical. Threats and everything. And stuff like that happened at my home from the same group of kids. And breaking stuff in my yard, the picnic table they broke and stuff like that. In my yard, they keyed up my mom's ex-boyfriend's quad and stuff like that. Cut the screen to my window and stuff. Yeah, it was rough. Back when I was a kid with that kind of stuff. Well, it was just a bad group of kids in a bad area I grew up in. But long story short, now, I started going to school because they threatened to take me away from my mother if I didn't go. So then I went to school and I said, no, what? I'm going to ignore these kids. I'm going to do the best I can. I was a high honor student. I got 100. I got A pluses. They had me do a science project. Yo, I went all the way. My mom, her ex-boyfriend, and I, we went to the gas station, asked them for a box. They gave us a cigarette box. We painted the box so it didn't look like it was a cigarette box. It was huge. It was a huge box to carry cigarettes and maybe other things. So it was a big box. And then we went to the craft store and we went and got styrofoam balls and stuff because it was for a science project for the solar system. Every kid was supposed to draw a picture of the solar system or do something nice. Well, I took it the next step. I said, Mom, I got an idea. And I talked to her boyfriend, who was an auto mechanic. I said, listen, I want to make a solar system in the box. I want to go to the craft store and get these foam balls that Aunt Diane and stuff uses for decoration and stuff. And I got an idea. And my mom sat down, who adopted me. She said, "What's your idea?" I said, "I want to make a solar system. And if we get the little hollow, the things that look like rings, we can make the rings for the other planets. We can use styrofoam balls to make all the moons and stuff and do it perfect. I mean, the whole solar system with the sun and the planets going around the sun." And I did that, and I got a 100 and an A++ on it. That's what they put on. And the school wouldn't let me take that home. They kept that because they put that behind a display case that was glass. And from what I hear, because my mom's husband who passed away, my stepfather, my mom who adopted me, she got remarried and my stepfather passed away. He has children. And that's still in that school today. That thing I made is pretty cool. So you can tell I was a hard-working student. I studied real hard, and I worked real hard for my education. Then
Red Circle ABC News. Video.
then they had a science project of the rainforest. I said, I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to do rainforest this time. And I did a rainforest, you all. I went and got a box from the gas station that was down the road from our house. And I explained to them I need a big enough box to do a rainforest. They're like, how are you going to do that? I said, don't worry, I know exactly how I'm going to do this. So then I went to the dollar store and got little fake trees. And I went to the pet store, got fake plants. And then I went to the dollar store and bought other things to make it look like it. And then I went outside. I put a thing inside the box, like a tray in the bottom, like a tote that was as wide as a box, so I could fill in the bottom with dirt. And I put stones, dirt, and made it. It was heavy, y'all. I had to carry that. That was pretty heavy. It took up a whole seat on the bus when I went to school. The rainforest. So did the solar system. The solar system took up one whole bus seat, too, when I did that. But now the rainforest, that took up a whole bus seat, too. And it was pretty cool. But my friend Abby and stuff helped me carry it into school. My friends that I had and all that, they helped me with it. And it was pretty cool to have friends like them because Abby taught me how to defend myself. That person taught me pressure points and stuff like that, so I knew how to defend myself if I had to. But you always walk away when you can if things are going on, and if you have to defend yourself, then you do. But you never put your hands on a woman if a woman's doing something to you. You walk away, or wait till you can walk away. You never put your hands on a woman, no matter what. But long story short, the science project of the rainforest. You're all going to laugh at this one. Hey, this is a great one if your kids get that project. I ended up getting a tote the size of the box and filled it with dirt, put stones in, everything like that, filled it up. I didn't put no water in, but I made it so it could have water. Poked holes in the top of the box, ran little hoses through it, and filled the reservoir up above it that sat on top of the box, and the little hoses went into it, but they were cut so they didn't look like hoses, so it literally looked like it was like raindrops. And what I did a thing that you could turn the valve very slowly and then turn it back on and off, and it was a valve that let all the water in from the container I had up above. And it literally looked like it was raining in the rainforest, y'all, because it's a tote to hold the water. That's why you needed a tote. Then I have fake plants, fake trees, fake animals. I went and looked for all the animals that a rainforest should have. Fake snakes, fake everything. And I went all the way out to get it. And I got an A++ on that too. And they gave me 100 they wrote on it. And they kept that too, unfortunately. But that's how good I worked on my schoolwork. Yo, I was studying even when I didn't have to study. Like during my free time at lunch, if I finish food and stuff, I go and just study to sit on the computer during my free period that most people go and hang out at the library. I was studying on a computer, studying more science, studying more English, studying everything I could to make my education the best I could and work the hardest I could. And that's how I was a high honor student from 6th, 7th to 8th grade. But when 9th grade hit, they put me in job coach and they took away the math that I had. They put me in 1 plus 1, 2 plus 2. Then they took away my English, put me in a different English class, took away my science class, put me in 4th grade history. 4th grade history, the book said on it. They put me in that. And then they were even watching movies during education time. Not learning movies, just cartoons. I'm like, oh no. So, literally, like, I only had like an hour or something of schoolwork, and it was all like job coach and do all that. I'm like, no. I wasn't happy. And then, like, school, it was rough, like I told you. The school I went to had a shooting in it. But it did not have the shooting when I was in high school. I was still in school. I was in elementary school when the high school had a shooting. Now, the middle school, they had a couple lockdowns when I was in there myself. We had lockdowns in elementary school for stuff going on in the other schools. But when I hit middle school, we had a couple lockdowns for things going on. But in the high school, we had lockdowns too, a lot of them. a friend of mine, her pocketbook was sliced in school, and they did nothing about it. And some students were assaulted. Well, a lot of students were assaulted. My one friend, he was riding his bicycle, and this is after he graduated school from these group of kids that are cruel, that don't like anyone with disability or anybody different than them. Well, my friend was riding a bicycle all by himself and stuff like that, like he always did, and he woke up in the hospital. He don't know who did it or anything. All he did, he woke up in the hospital messed up. And reminded me of that, a couple weeks after that happened to him, I'm walking. I love going for a walk. So I'm walking. My stepfather passed away in 2012. I graduated. I didn't even want to graduate. I wanted to drop out and get a GED. That's how bad and rough the school was. Yo, it was rough. It was very rough. Things going on and stuff like that. So I toughened it up. My stepfather said to, I got the diploma. I graduated. And you know what? My stepfather's so sick and ill, he couldn't go to my graduation. And he was in tears, you all. When I left, he said, I'm like, it's just a graduation. No, you made it through all these years and you graduated. I said, well, I know I did, because I was supposed to graduate in 2012 anyways, but they kept me a year back in first grade. So technically, I was supposed to graduate in 2012 anyways, and that's how I got to graduate in 2012, because I worked super hard that year. Yo, I took 12th grade classes with 11th grade because I pushed myself so hard so I could. They gave me a whole bunch of tests for 11th grade work, and I passed it all. And I said, okay, we're going to give you 12th grade because you're supposed to be in 12th grade this year anyway. I pushed myself so hard, I was able to get out and graduate school in 12th grade. And granted, I was supposed to be in 12th grade that year anyways, because I was born in 94. I was supposed to be in 12th grade anyways. From them keeping me a year behind, I was supposed to graduate in 2013 because they kept me a year behind. But instead, I worked so hard, I graduated the year I was supposed to. And even though I was kept back a year in first grade, I did a whole year of work ahead. Because you know why? My father, who adopted me, my mother, and my stepfather fought for the education I needed. So why am I telling you this when I was talking about my vision? Because what did I go through? See, I lost my eyesight, but wait, what have I been going through? Having to advocate, use voices to speak up for what's right, and find ways to overcome obstacles in my life. So that's why losing my eyesight all the way in the front, having nothing here, is nothing. It's nothing compared to the things I have overcome and gone through. Yes, it might be something that stops me from doing some things like I can't just put that key in a car and drive myself to the store, of course. I always say disabilities don't limit us in life, but it don't mean, hey, I'm going to hop in a car that I own and drive it to the store. No, I can't do that. I put myself in harm and other people at harm, and I would never do that. So there are some things that limit us with disability, but there are ways to work around, like make friends, download Uber, download Lyft. There are ways to work around a disability. That's how I found. I said, no, I can't drive, but the next best thing, I can take cabs, I can take Lyft, I can call my friends, see if I can pay them gas money to bring me somewhere. And you know what? It gets me around perfectly good. I don't need to drive. I found a way to work around the disability. But wait, I have driven a car, but never on the road. Never on the road. In fields and in a parking lot once. That was empty. And back when my vision was a little bit better. But I was too young to drive on the road because I was younger back then. But my vision from, like I said, my vision was always legally blind. If you look up legally blind, it's different than completely blind, which I know eventually I'm going to lose my peripheral vision. I'm already prepared for that. So I'm really not relying on my peripheral vision. I'm just living life the way I am right now. So this way my peripheral vision goes, I'm already prepared and I don't have that stress of, oh my God, what am I going to do? The only thing I won't be able to do is like hold my phone like this to see if it's lit up. Because I can't tell by holding my phone in front of me if it's lit up or not. So when I'm trying to turn it on, it ain't going on. I got to put it on the side of my head to see if it's working or not. And that's how I see if it's going on right now. But when I lose my peripheral vision, I won't be able to do that. So now I'm trying not so much to rely on that because I know it's going to be getting worse over the time. So I'm trying to be more independent with zero sight, even though I have a tiny bit left because I lost the sight in my front. So I know it ain't going to be long until I lose all my sight in the side. But hey, it ain't going to stop me. I still go hiking. I can't even see the trail in front of me, you all. My cane, I feel for the trail and I feel for the edge of the woods. And that's how I walk. That's how I hike these trails independently. And no, I don't go running through it. No, I walk it to be safe. Now, my vision now, we're getting back to that. No, wait, I didn't finish the school thing. Hang on. I graduated a year I was supposed to, because I was supposed to graduate 2012 anyways if I didn't stay back a year in first grade. So, we got that path. But the school, when I hit ninth grade, my mother, who adopted me, my dad, who adopted me, my stepfather, they all had to advocate and fight. And we had school meetings. Even my vision teacher that was teaching me Braille, even my mobility teacher is on my parents' side fighting for what's right and what I need. In the school district that I went to, had a whole bunch of lawsuits against them for graduating kids without knowing how to read, graduating kids different ways, and other lawsuits against them. Even teachers at that school have been arrested for certain things. So it ain't the best school district I went to, but it's an okay one. I'm sure they're way worse. But would I let my kids go there? No. From the things I went through, no. I wouldn't let my kids go there. The experiences and things I went through, I wouldn't want no one to, but I know I didn't go through as much as other people did. Now, there's some things I went through I will not speak of. Period. I won't say. Because it's just personal things I'm not going to say. Things that happened. And I'm going to keep it that way. But long story short, the things I went through, I don't want my child going through. Because trust me, I was petrified to step out of my own house. Because I knew these group of kids and I knew what they were capable of. And I knew what they could do. I seen what they done to other people with my low vision. And what they done to me even. Listen to this. I defended myself the best I could. These kids had a knife. I got lunch detention for so many days. Until this one person walked up and advocated. This one teacher said he defended himself. He did nothing wrong. When people are showing you a knife and threatening to do stuff to you and you defend yourself, you get in trouble for it? Are you serious? You get in trouble for it. Why? Because I wouldn't join what they wanted me to join. They said, oh, you join this, you're part of the family. We're considered families. No, I ain't joining. No, I ain't doing nothing with that. No. And I wouldn't do that. So what? I was targeted more? And because I had a disability? Are you serious? And the school did nothing to stop that at all? Listen to this. Because some of the kids I had problems with lived in the one neighborhood that I lived in. Because I moved around a lot as a kid, but was stuck in the same school district. The school district covered like 5 or 6 towns because like there were smaller towns near that school district, so the school district covered it all. But the one place I lived at, some of the kids were on the bus, so I had problems. So the principal got on the bus and had a talk. I'm like, this ain't gonna do anything. This is gonna make things worse. Listen, that bus driver let these kids do whatever they wanted. The one kid grabbed the brooms, like the school bus has a broom. And the one kid grabbed the broom and was waving it, sticking it out the window, the handle, not the broom part, the handle, waving it at traffic and everything. That's how out of control some of these kids were. And this is supposed to be middle school, y'all. Middle school kids shouldn't be doing stuff like that. And unfortunately, some things happened to me on the bus physical that I'm not going to say on here. Family knows of mine, that's it. And some things they don't know, but I'm going to keep it that way. Some things I'm not going to bring up because in case their children listening, they don't need to hear. But even at school, physical things happen, like going into school, getting things thrown at you, stuff poured on you. You're walking in to go through a day of school, and you're getting stuff poured on you. You're leaving to go home, and stuff's poured on you. Are you serious? Do I know it was poured on me? No, not to this day. I probably better not know him, but long story short, those kind of things happen, and I'm like, it shouldn't have never happened like that. So that's what I'm saying. My vision that I lost in the front is nothing compared to the things that I went through in my life. My mom and dad who adopted me, they split. My mom got in a very abusive relationship back when I was in elementary school. I was in 3rd grade, just 3rd grade, seeing my mother who adopted me being beaten right in front of me. That's when I had enough vision where I could still see things happening. And my mother getting beat and slammed to the ground. Me as a little kid, I tried to step in and help, but I couldn't do anything because I was a little kid back then. I couldn't do nothing to control that situation. I did the best I could at the time. And when the neighbors would call the police and everything, my mom, who adopted me, would deny she was being hit. Deny it all. She denied it. And then she went from that relation to a worse one. The next person she got, okay, he knew auto mechanics. He taught me how to work on cars, yes, but he was a drug addict. And he put his hands on her a couple of times, right in front of me. So I had to worry about being bullied, physical and non-physical in school. I couldn't tell my mom everything that was going on because she had too much personal things going on. So I had this is 6th grade now. This is me at 6th grade, what I had to do. because my mom met the drug addict when I was in 5th grade. She left the man who was abusing her when I was in 5th grade. So I had to see that going on from 3rd grade to 5th grade when eventually he messed her up so bad she had to go to the hospital and the police did a order of protection without her even wanting it. And that's when she couldn't be with that person no more. So then my mom met a man who knew auto mechanics and he was a drug addict. She didn't know it at first, but my mom loves helping people and thinks she can help people. My mom who adopted me. Sometimes it gets her in predicaments where it's way bad and she don't know how to get out of herself. So we're going to talk about this. The man that she met seemed like a real nice man. He had his own garage. He worked on cars. He had lifts. He had all this stuff. And he moved in with us. Everything seemed pretty good at first. Everything going good because, you know why? He had a cover. He had like a cover on, like a, say, a curtain over a present that you're trying to hide. Or say curtains, when you open up the curtain, you can see outside, but you can't see outside till the curtain's open. To say he put a curtain in front of us. So we didn't know who he was. And then after a year of the relationship, he lifted that curtain. 5th grade was awesome with him. He was treating my mom right. I thought everything was going good. Then 6th grade, that next year, the curtain started lifting. And he stole her car. She had a car. He disabled the car from running because someone offered him money for that car. Because it was an old car. And it was a nice car. It was a two-door, a classic car. And you know what he did? He ended up disabling it from running on my mother so he could sell it for money. Yes. And my mom's one brother is part of that too, because my mom has a troubled brother that she don't talk to. That's how she found this guy, through her brother. She should have known he was bad news from the start, but people make mistakes. I'm not going to judge my mom. She adopted me and took me on like her own. Everybody makes mistakes. But her brother and her boyfriend disabled her car from running so they could sell it and get $3,000 for the car. So then my Uncle Billy, on my mom's side, who adopted me, gave my mom a Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra. It was an 85 or an 86 Cutlass Sierra. And we're talking about we're in the 2000s now. And he gave her that car. And it was a real good car, but my mom's ex-boyfriend who was into drugs used to force her to drive him. And a lot of times I had to be in that car with them when they did those things. I didn't want to be, but I had no choice of my own. I was a child. And anyways, I vowed to be with my mother to make sure she was safe. Because this is where I'm getting into what I had to do. And explaining things that I went through in my life. I had to wear the sleeves of looking over my mom, looking over myself. Because 6th grade bullying started physical. No, it started verbal. Then it went into physical. And physical went into it fast. And I mean fast. Hallways, physical. Even outside, physical. And it went fast. And it got bad and bad and bad. And I couldn't tell my mom everything that was going on. I had to hide it. Because you know why? She had her own stuff going on at home. So I couldn't tell her everything. So I had to wear these sleeves. Like, wear these suits. Like, just say, for different things. Like, if you put on something for a job, I'm using it as an example. Like, you didn't really put on stuff, but what I'm saying is I had to hide what was going on at school from my mother. Then I had my mom and dad who adopted, who broke up. They were fighting over custody for me real bad. I had to keep going to see a law guardian. I just want to be with both parents. I wanted 1 week with my dad, 1 week with my mom. That's what I wanted. But I couldn't do it that way. I couldn't do like where it was 1 whole week with my dad, 1 whole week with my mom. I just couldn't get that. The courts wouldn't do it. So I had to go back and forth to court. Now I'm in 6th grade. This is what's going on, being bullied, physical, and verbal. And in elementary school, you gotta remember seeing my mom being beat from that one guy who she got an order of protection against for life. And now this new boyfriend is being abusive to her, threatening her, and forcing her to do things. So I have this, and going to court with both parents fighting over me, having to go see law guardians and everything like that. And then, after that, the physical bullying, the verbal stuff, and then moving around, bouncing around place to place, never able to have a stable home because these boyfriends kept taking my mom's bill money, making us get evicted, or happening to move here. Never able to keep the same group of friends, have the support that I wanted to have, like friends to hang out with and talk to and things go hard, or talk to their parents. Well, the longest I ever lived somewhere as a kid was 4 years. I had the same school district, but never. I wish I could get out of that school district when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I wish I got out of that school district. I do. I wish when I moved to a different school district. I do. But I didn't get that luck, unfortunately. But there was one place I lived at the longest, 4 years. And that place I call home. That place I grew up. That place was my home. That apartment I grew up in. And that was my home. I stayed there the longest. I made friends with the kids in the area. Like, made friends with the neighbors, the adults. And there were a couple of adults I really talked to, I really trust, explained what was going on. They knew what was going on with my mom. She was being abused by the man that she was with when she moved there, and that was a drug addict that she met after the man that she got through protection against that beat her. So then she met this man that was a drug addict that she didn't know was a drug addict. Like I said, he hid it behind the curtain until a year. So then he was stealing her car, stealing her credit card with all the bill money on it, doing all this, stealing stuff out of my room, stealing my chains, broke into my piggy bank. I had this Parker Meadow piggy bank. I loved it. Yo, it was 5 foot tall piggy bank. Got out of garage sale, granted, but I loved that thing. My mom was disabled, who adopted me, so she couldn't work. She's disabled. So we were a low income family, so we didn't have a lot. What we had, I cherished, and my mom tried to give me the best she could. So did my father, who adopted me. They tried to give me the best they could. So my mother go out of her way. She got a babysitting job just to make it so we could have things. She went out of her way for Christmas. Well, you want to know what this boyfriend of hers did and her brother? My Christmas. They stole all the Christmas gifts my mom bought. She got me a digital camera. She bought me a game console and everything like that. Because back then I had some sight. I couldn't play hard games. I could play certain games like Animal Crossing. I couldn't do the missions and like Need for Speed and stuff like that, but I liked so you could drive the car around because I knew when I got older my vision was going to get worse and I knew I couldn't drive cars, so at least I get to drive a car in a game. But I actually got to drive a car in real life too. We'll get to that there. That when I got to drive a car in real life was a field car in farmers' fields, like big fields and stuff like that. And with my one uncle around a parking lot that was empty, that we had permission to. But we'll get to that in the future. But now, this boyfriend of my mom's and her brother stole all my Christmas gifts. You know what my mother did? She went and got whatever she could do. She went and she cleaned. She started cleaning places just so she could get me Christmas gifts. She went around asking people if they need their homes cleaned or if they need this, they need that. And she went around to make extra money to get me stuff for Christmas again. She went out of her way to help me get a Christmas, because I didn't even know back then. Hey, I didn't know back then my Christmas gifts were stolen. I didn't know. I knew my money was stolen. I knew my room was always going through when I was in 6th grade. I knew everything was being gone through, so I gave it. Whenever I got money, I stopped bringing it home because I knew it was unsafe at home. I knew it couldn't stay there. And I couldn't leave it in my locker because things were happening at school, very bad, physical. And I couldn't leave it in my locker because, hey, you're getting shoved out of your own way and people going through your stuff. No, couldn't do that. So what I had to do is leave it with a teacher that I knew at school, some of my stuff, and the other stuff I left with a friend's parents. And that's how I kept my stuff safe for those 4 years when I lived there. And that place I call home. I love that place. That was a place I had as a home. Granted, everywhere I had was a home, but I moved around so much. I never could get comfortable because sometimes we moved before the year was even up to another place, and it was hard. It was hard moving around so much. It was very hard. Especially having low vision, so you gotta learn the area that you're in, remember what's there and stuff like that, and get to know people and hope that people accept you for who you are. Which now, I don't care if someone accepts me for who I am. I am who I am. I'm considered legally blind and blind. So if they don't want to accept me, that's okay. It's all up to them. But back then, I had so much going on. You know, and kids telling you to go do something to yourself and stuff like that. And I'm not going to say in case the kids listening to it because nobody care if you did. There we go. Like, I'm not going to say the stuff that said real hurtful things and physical things, and getting told, oh, if you don't do it, we'll do it one day when we catch you alone. And I'm like, wow. And this stuff I had abound as a kid. At 6th grade now. 6th grade. And watching my mother being abused by this drug addict boyfriend, stealing everything from her. Her being forced to drive things. Her being forced to do this. So I had to wear a couple hats. I had to look over my mom when I was home. Make sure she ain't being abused. Make sure the man ain't putting his hands on her. If he does, step in when he does. And stick up for her when it needs to be. And then ignore the kids at school who are abusing me, ignore the physical abuse going on, and ignore the verbal abuse, and do my schoolwork. And then balance going to court with my mom and dad who are fighting over me when I just want to see one week and one the other week. Instead, it couldn't work like that. I don't know why, but then, after all that, face other things that were going on in my life also. And it was so hard growing up like that. But it wasn't a hard childhood because I know kids have it worse than me. But some of the things I went through, I'm not going to say here, and I haven't said on any public thing because I'm not going to put it online. But some things I went through were not that good. That's why I say I can relate to a lot of things Halsey went through. One, the book that she wrote, Leave Me If I Could. My phone read it to me through an app called Lookout. I know I already said that. But I can relate to some of those things in there as she talks about. I can relate to some of the experiences she went through as she talks about. Like being bullied, physical, and stuff like that. She had people who ripped apart a bracelet that she wore. Hey, I had stuff shoved in my ear at school, on school property. I got punched so hard the first time it was physical, and I'm going to tell you about the first time. I got punched so hard in the chest. I got punched in the chest, and then punched in the neck, and the next day, I got punched so hard in the center of the chest, it took my breath away. I had nothing. Couldn't breathe or anything. You know what the teacher said? Walk it off. Your breath would come out, it would come back, and nothing happened. Nothing all happened. Then the next day I got punched right there. Not sure if y'all can see, right there. And that burnt right. I got hit there, but nothing happened. Nothing happened. Nothing was addressed. Nothing. And I went through this in school. Think about this. And then going home, making sure I know that man put his hands on my mom a couple of times, a drug addict. But I didn't want him to beat her like the previous man that she was with before. So I had to juggle all that. I had to say, okay, is he going to do what her ex-boyfriend did? If I'm going to come home and she's going to be hurt real badly, messed up. Is all this going to go on? I'm like, damn, I'm juggling all this. Then school told me I'm going to be taken away because it's 6th grade. I stopped going because I didn't feel safe. Hey, I didn't even feel safe stepping outside my own house and things. But from what the kids said and stuff like that, and things I went through, because I knew they were serious. I knew something bad was going to happen. If I got caught by myself by those kids outside, I would have been up a creek without a paddle. Something would have happened very bad. But thankful it didn't happen because a couple times I did. I'd take off running. Being visually impaired, you can still run if you like my eyesight. I'm explaining. Back then, it was like looking through a paper towel roll. So I could see far ahead, but nothing close up. So I had to pray nothing was there that I was going to trip on. But I did take off running a lot of times. A lot of times I had to take off running to save myself from something happening. And I guess I did a pretty good job. That's why I was one of the fastest kids in school. Yo, the gym teacher wanted me to join track and field and stuff and wanted me to do all these running events. He said, Joe, you're a fast runner. I said, well, you have to be when you have this circumstance that I have going on in my life. You got to be pretty good at running. If you're not, I don't know what would happen. And he's like, what? I said, the kids and stuff that are going on, the problems that you have going on, and with the kids around the school and stuff. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, I know that's hard. And I wish he said, if I was a principal, I'd be doing way more to stop this from going on. But he said, with you in my gym class, I won't let that happen. You know what? We only had a few issues in my gym class in 9th grade because 9th through 12th grade I had the same. 9th to 11th grade. I skipped 11th grade and went to 12th. So just say 9th to 12th grade. I had the same gym teacher, Mr. Sodon. He was awesome. When I had a few issues that went on, he took care of it. He took care of anything. And he was like the best gym teacher you could ever ask. In middle school, I had a gym teacher now. In middle school, when I got hit in 6th grade, I got hit right here in the chest, right in the center. The gym teacher did nothing. He's seen it. Nothing. The next day, I got punched in the neck. Nothing happened. Nothing. The next time. And then I got pushed into bleachers. I put my hand out to catch. Put your hands out because you're getting pushed. And I put my hand out to catch, and I broke my finger. And I went to nurse office. I said, I have a broken finger. No, you don't. Get back to class. You're using it as an excuse to go home. Get back to class. I said, I can't move, and this thing's swollen. It'll heal. Go back to class. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So when I got home that day, my mom seen it, and I went to the doctor. It was broken. And I went back the next day and gave the paper to the nurse. I said, see, I told you. Oh, I'm sorry. I said, but you refused me to have a phone to call my mother. And everybody says I can sue the school district. I don't believe in suing, but maybe I should. And if I did, I'd give all the money to charity. I want to keep a dime for myself for the things I went through in that school. But you know what? It's better just leaving it, unless if I hear other kids are still going through it, which unfortunately I think they are, because I was recently at a Hannaford, right? They do job coaching stuff. And I was returning cans and bottles with my mom and stuff like that. And then behind us, someone was talking about to their daughter. I said, and they were talking and stuff, and she's like, yeah, you were screaming again. I'm like, listen, I was screaming. I wonder if they're doing the same thing that I had. Because I suffer from night terrors, some things I went through in school and stuff like that. the physical things that I went through and happened to me, I have night terrors, which I don't know more because I found ways to cope with it and I found ways to overcome. Once in a great moon, yes, I'll get night terrors. And it'll be my past. It'll be what happened to my past coming right back to me. But I really don't get that much anymore. Thank God. Once in a great moon I will. But I heard this mother talking to her daughter. And she's like, yeah, you were screaming again. And I'm like, excuse me, ma'am, could I ask a question? Does she scream when she's in her sleep? And she said, yes. I said, does she scream no and stop and help? And she said, yeah, how do you know? I said, does she go to blank and blank school district? And she said, yes. How did you know that? I said, well, you need to sit down and talk to your daughter about certain things going on. And you need to talk and see what's going on because something's going on and you need to see what's going on. I'm not going to say anything because I know it's very stressful to talk about certain things, but I'll let your daughter open up to you, but you really need to talk to her. You really do, because it's urgent and you need to see what's going on. And I should have given her my number in case she needed me, but if I see them again down there, I am going to give them my number so they can have me as backup to explain my situation that I went through. And to let that kid know they're not alone, which I told that kid there, hey, listen, I know what you're going through. I went through things. You might actually be going through worse now because it could have gotten worse, but I don't know. But you need to tell your mom what's going on. I said, I know it can be hard. Or if you don't feel comfortable, maybe there's things going on, you don't want to stress your mom anymore, talk to an adult that you know that you can talk to and open up to. And that's what I said. Now, the night terrors I had one, I went with friends to Turnstone. I don't gamble, but my friends invited me for New Year's Eve to Turnstone. Listen, this is how bad it is. More than one of my friends had night terrors at Turnstone, to the school that we went to. We all had the same dreams almost, basically the same things because what goes on there. And I had a night terror, my friend had a night terror, and the other friend had a night terror. And it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing because when you have a night terror, it's embarrassing when you wake up or someone wakes you up and tells you it's okay. It's embarrassing because you're embarrassed because you're yelling no and stop and help and stuff. It's embarrassing. But it's your past of what you were going through at the time. It's embarrassing. But you know what? I don't go through that no more. Because my primary doctor I had a couple of years ago helped me and I got over that. I found ways to cope with what I went through. And I know, okay, I went through that, but you know what? I can't change it. I went through that. But now, we're getting back to what I was going through in 6th grade now, what I'm talking about. From all that going on, physical stuff at school and mental abuse going on at school, verbal, and then at home, watching over my mom, making sure she don't get beaten again like she did from her ex-boyfriend. She was getting her hands. That man was putting his hands on her, the new man, the drug addict. Yes, he was putting his hands on her. I had to speak up and step up and try and be the man when I was still a kid then, but I still had to be the best man I could to defend my mother, the best I could. And unfortunately, when my mom and him broke up, my mom blamed me for him leaving. She said, it's your fault he left. But yeah, he took all the rent money, he overdrafted a credit card, got in a police chase with the car, a 4-county police chase, and blew up her one car, and she stayed with him after that. And every time he overdrafted her bank and took the bill money, she had to find a way to make money to keep that rent. And then I got one place that we moved to, and I met these kids, they were awesome, I became friends with them, and stuff like that, then I just ripped right away. We didn't have money for internet back then or anything like that. I didn't have a phone, so I was ripped right away and I had to move again and make friends all over in a different neighborhood. Granted, I had the same friends in school, not many, because I always kept to myself. Like, I had a group of friends I hung out with once I hit high school, but in middle school, I really didn't have many because I kept to myself to keep myself safe. Like, there's this one kid I want to give a shout out, and I want to, if I do end up moving out of state, I want to give him, I know he ain't doing that well right now, but I want to give him a shout out because he used to step up for me a lot and stick up. And like literally, right when we had gym class stuff together, I ended up putting my gym locker right next to his, and he looked over me too. Because one day I was in gym class, we were in the locker room, I was getting changed. This one kid took all my clothes, like, hey, give me my clothes back. Because I was changing, took my shirt off and stuff, and he took my shirt in the back with my clothes in. I said, hey, give me my clothes back. And I was like, oh, not this again. I was saying in my head, I said, I didn't do a thing to you. Can't you give me my clothes back? And then some things got said that the other person, I'm not going to say, and then the person said, oh, look, you can talk. And I'm like, wow. I'm saying in my head now. I'm thinking, okay. And right, you get pushed into a concrete wall and stuff, and you're going to hit. I said, no, I need to defend myself here because this ain't going to turn out good. And that kid came over and even said, hey, leave him alone. But this kid went and told the principal the whole gym class stuck up for me. Half of the kids said, yeah, he did nothing. But yeah, I got lunch detention, out of lunch detention the same day because that one kid named Seth stepped up and spoke up for me. His name was Seth, and he was a nice kid. I met him through gym, and you know what? That kid had my back through that whole year of gym class. He looked out for me and spoke up anytime he needed to. And I had other people like that too, but that's the things I went through when I was a kid. Physical things happened to me on school property now. On school property and on the bus. Well, the bus was only 4 years, and I was living in that place that I called home for 4 years. Down the road, though, some of the kids, not all, some of the kids I had problems with that was in that one group lived down there, so I had problems with them on the bus until, hey, I started sitting up front right next to the bus driver to keep myself safe. They used to sit in back with my friends, but when my friends wouldn't go on some days or stuff like that, they were sick, some bad things would happen. And I'm not going to say what, but in case kids are listening here, so I'll keep it like that, but physical things, like literally being, you know how the seatbelts are, stuff like that on a bus, later to use a seatbelt to hold you to the seat and stuff like that, and that went on to me in school on a public school bus. Yes, those kind of things. I'm not going to say more things that went on, but I'm going to leave it like that so the kids are listening, they don't hear. But things like that I went through. And I had to go through it each day because they threatened they were going to take me away from my mother if I didn't go. So I had to go through that abuse each day. Then go through abuse at home. Seeing my mother being mistreated. Seeing my mother being abused. I had to go through all that. So as you can picture, that's a lot of stuff I had to carry. And I had to go through. And then, the blessing. When my mom went to Walmart, she found true love. After she broke up with that drug addict and he left her for an underage girl, mind you. This drug addict left my mother and out with a teenager that was underage. Yes, he was 43 years old and he went out with a 16-year-old. Yes, that's illegal and a big crime. I was glad that man was out of that house, but at first my mom blamed me for his leaving. You made him leave. You made him leave. And she started calling me names and stuff like that when I was in 8th grade and stuff, blaming me that drug addict left. Not 8th grade, I'm bad, it's 7th grade. No, was it? It was either 7th or 8th grade, she started calling me names. And then he either left 7th or 8th grade, that drug addict. But then, after that, and she got over it, in a couple months, she met my stepfather. He seen her at Walmart, and he asked her, hey, are you still with that man who abuses you and mistreats you? You shouldn't abuse him like that. And I heard a little bit of it. I said, here's my number. If you want something, give me a call. If you ever want to hang out or something. And then they started talking. I didn't know because my stepfather wanted to keep it quiet until they knew it was going to last. And he had my mom bring me to meet him. And that's when he found out she was driving a car that was unsafe. And he took the car right away and gave her his car. And then he gave her car back after he fixed the fuel tank and stuff. But then it started to keep falling apart. So then he took her car back and sent it to the junkyard and ended up giving her his car. So it was pretty cool. Then he went and got his own pickup truck and told her to keep his van. Granny, he loved the van. Listen, we're talking about a van that was only a couple years old now. Back when he gave it to my mother, it was not even that old. That's how nice this man was. He never put his hands on my mother once. They might have had some disagreements and arguments because he had kids. And sometimes the kids, kids can be kids and they don't like having a stepmother because they feel it's taken away from their real mother. Where my stepfather and I sat and talked down after he moved in. He said, Joe, why are you not talking to me? Why are you sitting distant? Why are you doing this? Why don't you trust me? He's like, anything I do or say, you don't trust me. And I said, can we talk when my mom ain't around? He said, no, what? When your mom heads out to a doctor's appointment, we'll talk one of these days. And I said, okay. So we sat down and talked, and I explained to him what I went through and everything. He said, son, I'm not that type of guy. I will never hurt your mother. I will never put my hands on her. I will never abuse her. You can have a childhood. You can live your life. Be a kid. You don't have to look out for your mother. You're a child. Your job is to live your life as a kid, not to protect your mother from men who are abusing her. Your job is to live your childhood and enjoy it. Unfortunately, what's going on at school, it sucks, I know. But I'm doing my best I can to stop those things too. And you know what? I'll show you. And he said, I know I don't have your trust now, but can I gain your trust and show you who I am? And I said, sure. And at first, yeah, he's just saying this, and you can make speech, and he's gonna pretend to be someone that he ain't. And a year after they start dating, all this stuff's gonna come out. And I said to him, I'll let you gain my trust, but I'm assuming you're gonna be the same as the other men after a year. Once she gets to know you, you're gonna be the same as them. And he said, son, I promise, I'm not. And you know what? That man kept his word. He promised and he wasn't. Not once did I ever fear for my mother's safety when I left that house and went to school. Not once did I worry what would happen to my mother when I was in school. Like, when I get home, will my mother be hurt? What will happen to her? I didn't have to worry about that because that man, my stepfather Tom, was a man who treated her like a real man should. He treated my mother like a real man should. He treated her like a woman should be treated. And it's sad, he had a little accident that happened, had a blood transfusion to stay alive, and the blood they gave him they didn't know was contaminated. It had something in it from someone who wasn't supposed to give a blood transfusion, but it's very rare for stuff like that to happen. And unfortunately, he got very sick and very ill. And where we lived, we had 2 bathrooms, so he would only use the bathroom. And nobody else could use his bathroom or anything. Nobody could touch anything of his because he wouldn't allow us. He said we could catch it, even though the doctor said we couldn't allow if we didn't touch certain things. But he was very protective of everybody. And he passed away in 2012, and he said to the doctor, I want hospice. I want to pass away at my home with my family. I don't want to die in a hospital. So that man held on, and the doctor said he only had a week or 2 to live. This man held on way longer than that. He held on way longer than that. He held on and seen me graduate. And he held on past my birthday. And he passed away in December. He passed away in December of 2012. It was the end of November or the beginning of December is when he passed away. And you know what? That man was in tears. When I came back from my graduation, he couldn't make it there. He was on the phone on speaker, had my mom having a speaker. He could hear my name being called to go across that stage. He was that much. He looked at me as his own son. And I appreciate that. And when he passed, yes, it was very hard. I took it very hard. But how I grew up as a kid, being physical bullied and verbal.
Your monthly recap is ready. Joey,
and
video.
all this stuff going on and stuff like that, I learned you can't show your emotion. And I should have never done that. He kept saying, son, it's okay to cry. It's okay to show your emotions. I know from your past, you learned to protect yourself. You can't do that. But it's okay to let things out sometimes. It's okay. You don't have to hide things. If you need to talk to someone, find a friend you can talk to. And talk to someone. He said, son, when he was sick and passed away, he said, listen, please, look out for your mother for me. And look out and hopefully she'll find the right man that will treat her right. I'm going to pray and hope it'll be in God's hands. And I'll be watching down over you. You know what? That was a good man. Because unfortunately, my mom hasn't found the man yet because she met someone and she picked him up at a shelter, a homeless shelter. And I had to take my mom in and I got her a place. Found out through her ex-boyfriend that she was with way long ago who had some mental problems. That's why she didn't date him. And she was still good friends with him. He rented a place to her. Then that didn't work because the person my mom was with didn't have no income and that person had the addiction. So I'm back to the same stuff again. Then, come to find out, they were homeless again. So I took them in. My studio apartment now we're talking about when I'm an adult that the state put me in. I took my mom in. I only had $100 a month to live off. I took my mom and her boyfriend in. And here I'm thinking, okay, he's addicted to drugs, okay. I didn't know he was addicted to drugs, so he came in though. I didn't know that. But then I found out, I'm like, no, I can't let my mom on the street. I gotta take care of her. So then I ended up taking them in. I really didn't like it. This man changed my whole studio apartment around. They changed my whole apartment around and moved everything around on me. And then he would get mad at her if he couldn't get his thing that he was addicted to. He would get mad at her and yell at her and tell her that he's the bother, he's the problem, he's this, he's that. When he's not realized it's not her job to bring him to get what he's addicted to. It's not her fault he picked that addiction in life. People who go to addictions go to it for many different reasons. Some go to it because they're pressured into it or they want to go into it. Or some go to it because they're too afraid to cope with something in their lives. Me, I'm glad I never touched any kind of alcohol, any kind of drug. I'm glad at that. And I won't ever touch any of that because I don't believe in it. Hey, I won't even take a Tylenol now. I'll be like sometimes in pain because my ribs. My primary doctor wanted to give me pain meds because the problem with my chest, the problems that happened to me, injuries that happened to me in school, some bodily injuries that I still suffer with today. They want to give me pain meds to deal with the pain I go through at times. And I refuse to take them because I don't want nothing that I can get addicted to, no kind of medication. So he said, then take a Tylenol. So, no, I ain't taking a Tylenol. So we found a way. Epsom salt and sometimes a warm shower or a warm tub will take some pain away. Or I'll just deal with it. I'll just do it. I love working on cars so much, yo. I get in a lot of pain from crawling around and moving. Like if I crawl under a car to work on it, or I'm bent down because my back, my spine has a bent in it from things that happened to me years ago, from abuse I went through, from those kids I told you all about and stuff like that. My spine has a little bit damaged. My ribs do. My chest has a little bit problems, and other things do too. And my one shin, on my one leg, has an indentation in it that will always be there for my life. Like my shin got chipped, but never broken. Thank God it didn't break. It got chipped. But those are things I went through as a kid. So, what I'm saying is, all those things from working on a car. Now my ribs, they healed, and the ones on top of each other, they want a rib plate, but I don't know if I want to go for rib plate. And they want to break the ribs and make them move so they can re-heal them a different way. I don't know if I want to go through that and have rib plates and plates hooked to my ribs that are put in with titanium screws or whatever. No, I'd rather live life the way I'm living, because that rib plate let go, it can puncture something. Right now my ribs ain't puncturing anything, so I'd rather keep it the way it is and just deal with the pain after I work on a car. Like when I go out and work on cars and stuff, I'll be in pain after. You know what? I'll deal with the pain. Because you know why? It could be worse things going on in life than that. What's so bad about dealing with a little pain every now and then? I'm not going to take pain meds because, yeah, it's severe pain. Yeah, it hurts. A part of my wrist, I'm not sure if y'all can see it, I can't touch. I didn't do that to me. Other people did. Certain thing happened right when I was a kid. I went to the doctors and stuff like that. They didn't notice I had nerve damage. And I didn't do that to myself. Someone else did it to me, but I had to deal with it. So if I touch my wrist in a certain spot, it's very sharp pains. I cannot touch it when it's hot out and I sweat. It burns there. But I can't do nothing about it because that's my life. This is who I am. And you know what? I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud I overcame all those challenges in my life. I'm proud who I am today. But the reason I'm explaining everything, because I do a little bit videos about my stuff and explaining things, but sometimes people don't catch them all. So I'm explaining everything about me. This is a life update video, so I'm explaining everything. So, long story short, I still work on cars. You know, it's painful sometimes, yes. Like when I did the starter the other day. That night, was I in pain going to bed? I couldn't get comfortable in the bed. No matter what way I laid in bed, I was in pain. So I said, you know what? I gotta suck it up and deal with it and go to bed. So I just lay there knowing it was going to hurt. No matter what way I laid, I was going to be in pain. So I just dealt with it. And I lay there and eventually fell asleep. Put on the radio. I listened to Z100. It ain't a radio. I stream it through the internet. I stream Z100. It's a radio station out in New York City. No, I do not live near New York City. But I stream the radio station because I really like that radio station. Ever since I heard of them and I checked them out, I really like it. I like listening to Elvis Duran in the morning. I really like that radio station. So I just put on Z100 because I wake up, listen to Elvis Duran. I have the alarm clock that wakes me up so I can listen to him every morning. And I just went to bed that night. But now we're going to get back to my health update. Today I went to the eye doctor, as you all know. And they said I can go for surgery. The doctor don't think it will help because the way my retina is. Yes, a doctor in the past. I used to go to another eye doctor, not this one. And the other doctor never discovered the tear in the retina in time. And it got worse and worse and worse. 2013, I went to an eye doctor because someone said I had a torn retina. That eye doctor said I never did. So I move it on to today. And guess what? Now, the tear in the retina is so bad, it can't be repaired. It can't be repaired. They said if it is, it's just going to undo itself and undo itself and undo itself. And now it's a hole in the center of the retina in the one eye. So with my eye disease anyway, that's so bad, basically, there's no point in having the surgery anyways, they said. But who knows, it cures and stuff in the future. I think positive, you know. I'm not going to be depressed. My dad who adopted me, he was in tears. I'm like, Dad, why are you upset? It's just, they can't do nothing right now. And he's like, Joe, that's bad. And that's my dad who adopted me, not my stepdad who passed away. My stepdad, my mom and dad who adopted me once again broke up. Instead of my mom got remarried, that man passed away in 2012. My dad who adopted me was there at the eye doctor. And my mom who adopted me was there at the eye doctor. My dad was like crying and hurt. And I'm like, what? And of course, my mom wants to move to Kentucky. Here's another thing going on right now with some stress in my life. My mom wants to go to Kentucky because her family moved to Kentucky. My biggest fear, if I leave where I am living and I am secured and I go to Kentucky, okay, where I live now, I can afford it. I can't afford if I move to Kentucky. Because if I can't get a job, I can't afford it. where I live now is in my price range. Well, barely in my price range. I'll be struggling to pay the bills myself. But it's okay right now. Where I am right now is okay. But if I moved to Kentucky with my mom, I'll have to move in with my mom. I said, Mom, if I go to Kentucky, you can't tell me I said, I'm not telling you who you can and can't date, but I don't want to be put in a situation where I see my mother being abused, where there are drugs in the home. My mom hasn't touched a drug ever in her life, but she wants to help people. She likes to help people. She likes to be that person who saves everybody and to help them. Now, unfortunately, many people take advantage of that. And I said, Mom, I don't want to go through stuff I went through my childhood. I don't want to go through that again. And she's, I'll get my own place. You can do whatever you want. And you can't tell me who I can and can't date. And I'm like, Mom, I'm not telling you who you can and can't date, but I wish you would want the best for yourself and date someone who's honest and date someone like your husband who passed away. Date someone who will love you for who you are. It might take time. I've been single for a couple of years because I won't jump into something unless I know it's going to work. And this one girl wanted me to date her, right? I met up with this girl. Matter of fact, this girl wasn't from the internet. We known each other, and she was like, da da da. I went on a date and stuff. And me, for my past, because I've been set up a couple of times in my life by these group of kids trying to do something. Like one time, my one friend sent me a message and said, Joe. And this wasn't this girl. I'm spinning things for a minute. So we're going to go back. We're rewinding a little bit. Before this girl and I went on a date, I'm rewinding. Another girl asked me out. And this girl's from Skodak. She would done Route 9 in Skodak, New York and stuff like that, supposedly. But she never lived there. It was all lies. I found out through my friend. And through a couple other people because I started asking and I typed their name in on Facebook. I spoke it into my phone and it wrote it with the spelling. And I noticed the Facebook she sent me was a brand new friend, a Facebook page. I looked up her real Facebook. She was in a relationship. And that girl was part of those group of kids that I had problems with planning on doing something and set me up. So I knew, okay, not to go with them, not to meet up with them. So I never met up with that girl. Now, fast forward to the girl who I knew who asked me out. And we went on a date. We went out to dinner and stuff. And it was pretty cool. My mom dropped me off at her house. So my mom knew where she lived in case something went wrong. I asked my mom to drop me off because the girl said I could pick you up. I said, no, can my mom drop me off at your house so I can meet? She said, sure. Because, of course, I can't drive. I'm blind. Or I meet her at a diner because that's respect. Well, long story short, we go to a date. It's going pretty good. And all of a sudden, it's nighttime. In the dark, I can't see a thing. Any vision that I have, which now I can't see nothing in front anyway, so it don't matter. But before I had some sight, so I can't see a thing in the dark. All of a sudden, we hit a gravel, like something gravel. I didn't know it was a gravel drive. I'm like, oh no. I'm thinking in my head all the worst thoughts that you could think was going through my head right now. Like, oh no. Then I think the worst. And then all of a sudden, we stop. She's at a cemetery because her mom passed away when she was a kid. She's at a cemetery to show me her mom's cemetery stone. It was nothing to worry about. She wanted to show me her mom's cemetery stone at night. And I'm like, you went to a cemetery at night? Ain't you not supposed to be in here at night? He's like, no, see all this. I'm like, well, I can't see a thing in the dark. He's like, here, I'll help you up to my mom's stone. And then her mom's stone had all these solar lights on it. It was pretty cool and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, okay. Then we went back to her house. It was late. And I said, okay, I'm going to sleep out on the couch tonight. And she said, no, come in my room, sleep with me. I said, no. I said, my stepfather raised me the right way. I don't take advantage of women. When you go on dates and stuff, no, the man sleeps out in the living room. And if the woman ever came to the man's house, the man sleeps in the living room. The man gives the woman his room and don't go in there at all for no reason at all. Because that's how I was raised. I was raised with respect. You don't take advantage of women like that. That's wrong. And this girl's like, no, it wouldn't be take advantage. Just come on in. I'm like, no, I respect you, and I don't believe that. So I'm going to sleep out here because unless you know the relationship's going to work and it's going to be a good relationship, then things lead into it slowly. Don't just jump into something right away. And that person wanted me to jump into something right away. I said, no, this ain't my kind of relationship. What I want a true relationship where two people care for each other and two people stand beside each other, not in front or behind, and are there to help each other through the journey called life. A relationship is about being there for each other, making memories, respecting each other, and building that connection that keeps you close together and keeps you looking out for each other and being there for each other through anything. A relationship's not about certain things. I'm not going to say what in case kids are watching, but I think you all know what that girl wanted, you all. I think you all know. And so I was friends with her, but I thought that would have been disrespecting her just doing that like that. So then I slept on the couch. And she invited me on another date. And this girl was smart. Yo, she thought she could trick me by getting friends to come over to her house and filling up her whole house so it was nowhere for me to sleep. She had this all covered. Yo, she thought she got this set. She invited me to go out too, and we went out to a restaurant and stuff like that. Then we came back, and she said, Joey, there's no room for you to sleep on the couch. Couch taken, so you gotta come to my room tonight. I'm like, I can sleep on the floor. The floor's there, and I brought my own pillow, so I'm good. I'm good. I'll sleep on the floor. That's fine. That's fine. End up sleeping on the floor that night because I have respect again, and I believe respect. And I respected that girl. And I respect any woman. And long story short, she wanted to push things way too fast, so it wasn't really shit that would ever work, that girl. So long story short, that's the last date that I went on. But I'm open-minded to dates, yes, and stuff like that, if the right girl comes my way, but who knows what the future might bring. I don't know, but now going back to the story about my mom. She wants to go to Kentucky to be with her family. I go down there. Okay. Do I know anybody in Kentucky besides my Uncle Billy? My Uncle Billy's up there in age and his health ain't doing well. So if he passes away, who do I know there? My Aunt Kara's older than my Uncle Billy, and she wants the whole family together. That's why she is moving to Kentucky. And she says she wants her whole family together before she passes away because her health's very bad. My Uncle Billy's health is very bad, so them two pass, right? Who do I know there? Nobody. Nobody at all. So that's why I'm a little iffy about going there. I'm very iffy. I don't know. And me being no sight in the front at all now, nothing. Not knowing that area, not knowing anybody. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know Kentucky. If anyone knows, is Kentucky a good state to live in? Comment below and let me know. I've been pausing on that because I'm very nervous and don't know if I should or shouldn't go there. So comment below and let me know if I should or shouldn't move to Kentucky, if it's a great state for the blind or something like that. I've been wanting to go to California, honestly. I've been wanting to go to California to see what they offer me, but I don't know. Some people say it's very expensive there. Some people say it's affordable. Some people say it's expensive. Some people say not to go there. Some people say to go there. But I think with a music career, California would be great because LA is right there with all the action. Now, I wouldn't live in LA exactly. Maybe LA County or near there, somewhere I could afford. I was thinking Ojai, California, Coachella, California, Apple Valley, Malibu, California, all those places. I've been researching very well in California, trying to find places affordable for me. But I don't know. It's wherever I get the job opportunity. And there's a music producer I'm supposed to meet in New York City. I gotta reach out to him now and tell him they said it's nothing they could do for my eye. I'm not gonna give him his name unless he wants me to. And I'm hoping and praying he's legit. I think he's legit and real. I found him through Facebook, but I have to bring money and meet a girl that he knows instead of him. And meet her, and she'll put all the songs together and stuff for him. But I might wait. I'm trying to reach out to Astrowork Music to see if they'll work with me and start something with me. I'm going to try that and see how that works. Because I'm looking into music places. If anyone knows any good music producer companies that are actually legit and they're in the phone book, like literally, I can have 411. I dial 411 on my phone and they connect me to that business. And I can read up on it, and they've been in business for, not read up on my phone, read up on it, and I know they're real. Let me know down below. Now, if you're watching this, why did I tell you my story? Not because I want you to feel sorry for me. I don't want no one to feel sorry for me. You know why? If you feel sorry for me, don't. There are people going through way worse things than I am. I use my story and my experiences to advocate and speak up for what's going on in this world and what's going on right here in our own country and what's going on all around the world. And I use my story and my experiences to speak up so people know, hey, wait, if he went through this, people are going through things worse than he is. We need to speak up and help these people. Correct? We do. That's why I use my story. I want to use my story and speak up for what's right. If schools will let me go through explaining the physical abuse I went through in school and the bullying, and explain to these kids, no matter someone has a disability, no matter they're different, you need to treat each other the same and why you should not, and explain what I went through, and explain how I felt when I was going through it to kids and stuff. If they would let me do that and give speeches and explain, maybe I could prevent a lot of things from happening like that. But I want to make laws to prevent that. Which they are some laws I found. Schools are responsible to keep the places safe and make it safe for children. If not, the parents can sue the school district. The school district is reliable. for keeping a safe place, or the state can shut the school down. I did not know that when I was a kid. If I did, I'd fight a little bit harder and would have done more to prevent those things from happening. But I was a kid then, so I didn't know. So, can't do nothing about that. Another thing I want to do is internet. I want to make the internet a safer place for all. I have spoken on my computer, wrote a letter, printed out, mailed it to Congress. I'm going to mail another one to Congress. I want a verification code ordered to be on any social media platform. There is a verification code that has to get mailed to your specific address. And this way, to change your social media or to change anything that you have to set up online to use, you need a new verification code mailed to your address to prevent hackers from hacking into your things, and also to prevent you from being taken advantage of online, and to protect children. I feel they should be an age for children to go on Facebook or go on Snapchat or these certain websites, or they should make a children family version of the app where only children are communicating with children that they know are kids in the area they live by. The verification code, it will make it so that's possible. And I've been fighting for that and advocating and speaking up and talking to people out and even calling my governor's office and leaving those messages. But it ain't getting nowheres. Maybe in the future it will. I want to make the internet a safe place for all. I want to make it so kids can feel safe on the internet. Now, I never had the internet growing up, but from what I've been seeing on news articles happen to some kids online, it's horrible. And for things I went through, I want to stop these things from happening to these kids. I never had online things happen to me from things like that. I never had stuff like that happen that these kids are going through, like the pressure that they're going through and stuff like that. But I want to prevent it from happening, and there's a way to prevent it. Verification code to get any Facebook page or any social media platform to join it. You need a verification code mailed to your address to prove you live in that area. Then the app will say you live out of that area. So prevent scammers from anywhere else that don't live in those areas from lying and saying they live there. And it's a great way to keep the internet safe, and an age limit on internet. If a kid wants Facebook, that's fine. We can't take away their freedom. But let's make a new kind of Facebook that's friendly for kids only, where adults are not allowed in it. Just the children can communicate with children, and the app has to research and make sure they are children they are communicating with in their area by the verification code that got mailed and how the verification code got mailed out. And with a verification code, if someone tries to help someone who's a criminal and they give that verification code because they have kids to try and open an app up, that person will be held reliable for what would happen. That's why I think a verification code is perfect to make the internet safe, and it's a great idea that I really think Congress should pass it. Just think about this now. Say someone has kids and they made an app and the kid ain't on the app, then that person's doing a cybercrime and they should be held fully accountable by the law. Now, if they made that account for their kids and their kid is going on it and they're not using it at all, then perfect, let it be. And platforms should look out more what's happening to these kids on there and should be held responsible for what goes on and happens to kids. Another thing I'm advocating for is the homeless children in America. We need to do something to end this homeless crisis in America. Like I said, I donated to my friend's place for Halsey's birthday. And now I'm donating again in October, mailing them a box of clothes for my birthday. So listen, we need to end homelessness in America too. We need to end that for children. No child should be homeless or in extreme poverty, wondering where their next meal is going to be or where their next home is going to be. I was homeless in 2016 as a teenager. Yes, a teenager. There's someone called Code who wanted to be with my mom, and they didn't realize they put me on the streets by doing that. And unfortunately, I was homeless. Then became homeless again. When the state took everything over, I got booted out and had nowhere to go. I had to stay at my ex-girlfriend's brother's house until the state got me an apartment. And I ended up losing a present that my mom gave me, a cat named Princess. I put her in this apartment that wasn't going to be ready for me in time. And this landlord made me leave the apartment for 4 months. I put my cat in there, my mom's cat. And my other cat, I have 3 cats. We had 3 cats because the one cat that you seen, that cat rescued me. I say she came to me from the woods, and nobody claimed. I couldn't find out she was a lady's cat that passed away in 2009. An elderly woman who passed away and had no family in her cat. The people just let run. The rooter company that got her house. The house still sat abandoned. Probably still sits abandoned to this day in that area. but they just let the cat out so it wouldn't die to fend for itself. And people looked up pictures from that lady who sent them, and sure enough, that cat matches picture. So that woman's picture. That woman's cat who passed away in 2009. Well, I moved there in 2015 after being homeless in 2015. Found that a mobile home like I told you about. Well, I call it apartment because it was a rental, but it was a mobile home. So technically an apartment, it was a mobile home I rented. So long story short, that cat came to me one day and it was skinny. You could count its bones and everything. And I started feeding the cat. She started coming to me more and more and more. And it would follow me around. I walked through the woods. Anywhere I went, this cat went. I said, okay, I gotta find your owner. You're lost. Took pictures of the cat, put it on all the bulletin boards, put it and had a paper cover it and everything, put it. Nobody claimed this cat until people started telling me it was a lady's cat who passed away years ago. So they said, well, I guess you adopted the cat. I said, nope, she adopted me. She came to me. But that cat I had, and I had Princess, a cat that my mom gave me for my birthday one year, and I had my mom's cat that was with me, her cat. Well, when 2016 now, I lost my income. 2015, the end of 2015, I moved there. In October 2015, I moved there. I was homeless since the ending of 2014 exactly, and ending to 2015 October. I was bouncing around place to place till I found a place by saving up the money because hotels took all the money. You couldn't pay rent if you had to pay hotels, so it was kind of hard to balance all that out, but made it through that. But long story short, slept in a couple empty homes a couple times, yes. Went through that, yes. Stayed in an empty. A friend had an empty apartment that they were renting, and nobody was there yet, so they let us stay in it. My mom and I with no power or anything, so we slept on the floor. But long story short, made it through all that. But then in October 2015, moved into this mobile home. And long story short, this cat came to me. In 2016, I lost my income. I was there until 2017, I want to say. Yeah, 2017 I was there until. And this landlord said, Joe, I can't do this no more. They ain't paying your rent. They ain't doing nothing. I don't want to boot you out. And then, anyways, I knew these kids knew where I lived, that I had problems with, because I think they found me because the only place to go shopping was in that town that I grew up in. I think my mom and I were following up there once and didn't realize, because we started having problems out there, people showing up at night and stuff like that. And I knew what these kids said. For me knowing what they did a while back and knowing and seeing things that went on, knowing something and stuff like that, I know that, like they said, they'll make sure one day. Well, they never did yet, did they? They won't be able to, because you know why? I'm living in a safe spot now that is safe. Very safe community. Everybody looks out for me here. Everybody looks out for everybody here. So I have no worries of the past, those people from the past. But where I used to live in that mobile home now, they found out where I lived, and it was a mile and a half drive off the road. All of a sudden, the first event that happened, we had a reef on the door, my mom and I. It was Christmas time, October we moved in, 2015. So Christmas time, all of a sudden you hear it like this. A knock at the door in the middle of the night. My mom's like, someone's knocking at the door. And then the reef hanger, y'all, not the reef, the hanger slided side to side. I'm like, well, don't answer it. So I left alone from there. Then a few other things happened, just hearing things outside. And then one day, my mom went to go bring me to my ex-girlfriend's house. We were dating at the time. It was my girlfriend. And we hopped in the car. My mom turned the key. Nothing. No start. No nothing. Thank God I took automotive school in Votech and stuff, and my mom's boyfriend taught me things, because I wanted to learn how to work on cars. A couple reasons. One, I love cars, and I just always loved automobiles and loved engines and how they worked and stuff like that. Two, some of my mom's boyfriends used to disable the car from running on her. So I said, no, I'm not going to let that happen to my mom. No, I'm going to learn how to get past that so I can help her there. And the other thing, I want to help people who can't afford to fix their cars and do it for them and not charge them a dime, because I like helping people. So long story short, I took automotive school in Votech and stuff like that and got 95 and did all that. Well, fast forward, now we're at this apartment. And, not apartment, mobile home, sorry. But I still call it the same thing. It's the mobile home that we moved into October in 2015 and stuff like that. Well, I was supposed to go to my ex-girlfriend's house. We were dating at the time. My mom puts the key in. Car doesn't start. She's like, Joe, it's nothing. Dead battery. I'm like, And I said, pop the hood. So long story short, I looked. Battery cables are completely disconnected. Put them on. Power. I said, no, I gotta see if this has spark. Because she still did it and nothing. And I see it, battery has spark. So I said, okay, it could be the starter. I go down to tap on the starter. Yo, the wires to the starter was disconnected on the car. And I played stupid. I said, I can't figure this out, Mom. So I went inside to go get a couple of tools because my tool chest sat in the big family room. Like I showed that huge room. I had a tool chest in there in the corner. It's like, because I needed nuts. The nuts for the starter are missing. Like, oh no, I don't have none in here. That's in the little shack on the other side of the property. I said, I ain't walking to that with knowing someone's here and did this to this car. It's like, how can I do? I'm thinking inside, and my mom's like, yeah, I'll be right there. I told her to just lock the door. I heard an animal or something. I didn't really want her to know the whole story. So long story short, I ended up
Home button. Window navigation bar.
saying
Double tap to
I'm gonna
activate.
have
Double
to
tap and hold to long
hold
press.
these wires to this starter as she turns that key to start it and get in that car and get out of that situation very fast because someone's there to see with that car and don't want us leaving. And I knew that. I had a pretty idea who it was. And I said, okay, I need to get my mother out of this situation as fast as I can. So then I put the wires on. I said, I don't know what it is. Give it a try. As soon as it started, I pulled the wires up so they wouldn't hit anything, tucked it, and shut the hood, and hopped in and said, let's go. And I said, Mom, I need to tell you something. Someone undid the wires to start and stuff. We need to get out of here. And now. And went to my ex-girlfriend's house. Her father had some stuff, and he had nuts and bolts and stuff. He had I needed 2 nuts for the starter wires, and sure enough, he had it, and put it on, and the car worked. And my ex-girlfriend like, are you gonna stay up me? I said, no, I'm not leaving my mother up there alone. No, not after that happened. Now fast forward a little bit. My ex-girlfriend and I, my mom was staying with a guy that she met off the internet, and my ex-girlfriend and I were up there. And we were staying outside. She said, Joey, there's someone outside. Someone's walking around. And I hear something. Next morning, someone went through her car, and she had a dead battery. But I have other cars on the property, so was able to get the battery jumped and stuff like that. Someone turned on her headlights and left them on to kill the battery, and it was creepy hearing someone walking right by your bedroom window when it's open, and you had to not move because if you went to go close it, who knows, they would have darted to go right in your window. So I'm like, don't move, act like we're asleep. I whispered to her and I said, don't move, be quiet. And sure enough, they went by and I said, we need to shut these windows. It sounds like there are a lot more of them than us. And I said, it will go away, don't worry. Now, one time I was home alone and that happened. I heard noises and stuff, and I said, okay. The police to take an hour to an hour and a half to 2 hours to get where we were because we were in a very rural community and we had no police department up there at all. Where we lived, didn't even have a police department. Where I live now, don't even have a police department. It goes by state police. But where we lived before, the state police took forever to get there for emergency. So when I called all the time, or my mom called me, it took too long for them to get up there. So long story short, I said, okay, I'm going to tough it out. It's nighttime. So I said, I'm going to go through the whole house because now we're past my ex-girlfriend because I told you she left. I got the battery, jumped in her car next day and she left. So now we're on another day when I was home alone. Now, I heard noises outside. I heard a car pull up. I'm like, oh no. And I heard people talking, doors shut. I'm like, uh-oh. So then I said, okay, I know the police won't be up here in time. So I said, I need to go to all the windows and make sure they're locked. Make sure both doors of the mobile home is locked. And you want to talk about a sit and duck, this mobile home, the whole living room, all the windows. It had 3 big windows on the front of the mobile home because it was single wide. And then 4 windows on the one side of the living room, 4 windows on the other side. They were all connected together. I'm like, oh my, this is a lot to cover. If someone wants to break in, all they have to do is break a window. They're in this house. And then the family room had windows, the living room had windows, the dining room had windows, the kitchen had windows, the bedrooms had windows, the washroom, the bathroom. You just get it. It's a lot of windows in that place. But I'm like, okay, I gotta make the best of this situation.
Double tap to activate. Double tap and hold to long
I
press.
said, okay, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go in my room that I sleep in. I'm gonna barricade the bedroom door, barricade myself in, and block the windows. And that's what I did. I moved all the furniture into my room and blocked off the windows. I knew I was home alone. I knew the police would take way too long to come out anyways. Something was going to happen because I was tired of calling them. They never came in time anyways. So I blocked off all the windows. And long story short, I just waited it out. Heard people walk around home and stuff. And of course, they probably tried the door, but I sat in my room, barricaded in. Because now I didn't have a BB gun, you all. Because one day my mom and I came home. I never make my bed till I go to bed. I'll make my bed when I go to bed. Before I go to bed, I make my bed. I never make it when I get up in the morning. It's a thing of being lazy, I guess. But I came home. My bed was made. My BB gun.
USPS. Home button. Window navigation bar. Double tap to activate. Double tap and hold to long press.
My BB gun that my stepfather gave me that meant the world to me. It meant the world to me. I found it on my bed, busted in pieces. Busted in pieces. My dad, who adopted me now, bought me a gun, a BB gun. I don't believe in guns. I don't believe in them anyways, but because I'm blind, probably. But I don't like those things because I'm afraid to hurt myself with them. So I never used it. I just kept it. And I found my BB gun torn apart. I found the one that my dad gave me, the CO2 one, ripped apart. Like, ooh. I had chills on the back of my neck. I'm like, somebody's here. Now, long story short, thank God nothing happened to my mom and I when we moved in. But when we moved out, I heard the apartment got real badly trashed, that mobile home. And I think it was old people. I don't know if it was or wasn't, but I heard that apartment got trashed real bad. I hope it didn't. If it did, I have an idea who did it. But now, fast forward, a girl who wanted me to go on a date. This is something. Someone went in her house, her own house, when she was there. She called me, Joey, someone went in my house. I said, did you go get your dad? No, I don't think anyone's here now. I said, did you check the closets? Did you check under bed? No. She said they took a can of sauce out. And she's going through the house with me on the phone because this is when we were still talking. I didn't know if we were going to be a thing or not, a relationship. And she goes into her room and said, my bed's made. I never do that. I said, you better ask your dad if he made the bed. And I'm getting real nervous. I'm like, oh no, it's the same people I'm thinking. And then her sister said to her, she said, listen, there are people that we know that we went to school with that are very bad. You need to start making sure all these windows are locked around here. Because a lot of kids I went to school with know that there's some groups of kids that are very bad into very bad things. Well, unfortunately, her house was targeted. And a lot of people I grew up with had a lot of issue with these kids. Like, I know people who've left the whole state of New York to get away from this school and these kids that this problem that these people were into, these one group of people. And I know people relocated different parts of New York State. Like, there's a kid that I went to school with named Carlina. She relocated and left the school district. A couple other kids did too. A lot of kids, matter of fact, I knew that I was friends with left because of things going on. Because of those group of people. Which, unfortunately, it is what it is. We can't complain. We can't choose where we live when we're children. We can only go where our parents bring us. So, long story short, a couple days later, Christine's like, Joey, you want to come over on a date and stuff? I'm like, and she's like, yeah, I hear things every now and then and stuff like that. And her van, the battery's dead. Something's going on with the alternator. I'm like, oh no. Something happened to her car. It was, I still say it was them, but you know what? I didn't want to scare her, so, I just figured, just let it alone. You know what I mean? Then, someone that I knew from school, didn't really hang out with them or not much at all. They went out one day with their parents. The tires fell off their car. So these group of people are not good people at all that I was avoiding. And that's why I was avoiding them. So I had that on my shoulder. And then I had being bullied by them on my shoulder, physical and not physical. Then my mom really making sure she ain't being abused. And all that on my shoulders. That's why I say this eyesight thing is nothing compared to things I've been through. Nothing at all. I can overcome this like it's nothing. That's why I gave you my story today and I explained what I went through. Because my eyesight right now is nothing compared to what I went through before. What I do when I have bad things happen, I think about good times in my life. Like, I don't even dread on it. I'm like, okay, nothing I can do. It's out of my hands. It's in God's hands. It's out of my hands. Whatever destiny is what destiny is. So, I have no control over what's going on in my life. So, if it's no cure for my vision, there's no cure for my vision. But I hear there's a cure in the UK. Am I going to look into it? Yes. I'm not just going to sit back. Okay, there's nothing I can do. Okay, I'm going to research to see. Maybe there's something that another doctor knows that doctor did. But don't get me wrong. Those doctors are awesome. They're very good doctors there. Very good doctor. Dr. Kival is a very good office. You need a retina doctor, go to him. He's a very good doctor. He's well known. He's very good. One of the best doctors you can go to is Dr. Kival. And his whole office, all the doctors there are good. I'm not going to say just go to Kival. All the doctors in that practice are good. They're all good, and I highly recommend them for anyone in New York State. Highly recommend them. Now, I live on the border of New York and Mass. I live on the border. So, I go a lot into mass and stuff like that. But I've been thinking about maybe getting a job in Massachusetts. Someone said I have to pay both state taxes. Now, if I did, because Massachusetts won't hire me, would I get both of them back at the end of the year? Would I have to file two taxes, one for one state, one for the other? Or how would I do that? That's what I was confused on. If you all know, feel free to comment below, please. Today is a video that I'm not going to do much of. Like, once in a great moon, I'll do a shout out of how I'm doing and stuff like this. Next one will probably be next year sometime. Because I love doing content. I love doing videos to make you all happy, make you all smile. If there are any videos you want me to cover, like maybe history on something, maybe a history on a car, maybe you want me to hike somewhere. If I can get there, I'll do it for y'all. Like, seriously. If there's any video you guys want me to do, feel free to comment below. Or if you're in the New York area or the Massachusetts area, Vermont, or you're somewheres around there, and you want to meet up with me and just see me because I'm a YouTuber that you love watching and stuff like that, I'm in for it. I'll meet you. I'll give you a gift. I have a gift, matter of fact, waiting for this person named Noah who gave me a YouTube shout out. I have a gift waiting for Noah. I have a guitar that Noah can hang on their wall. It's a kid's guitar, beginner guitar, but you know what? It's a gift from me, and I was going to sign it and give it a hand. Like, I was going to speak into my computer and write a letter and then sign it. So this way, Noah has a letter from me and then a guitar and stuff like that for the appreciation. Give me a YouTube shout out. I want to do that, but I don't know how to meet up with Noah. So I was thinking maybe a certain place, maybe right where Noah goes, like right where I know Noah found my YouTube and stuff out. Maybe give it to them and ask them to give it to Noah, then write to Noah through their account that they gave me a shout out on and tell them where they can get it from. That's probably the best way I'm thinking of doing that, to show my appreciation and stuff like that. That's what I'm thinking of. Now, Halsey, my dream is to meet her, like I said, and give her the appreciation. And listen, before I never liked my voice because people always said it was funny and bad and stuff like that. I never liked my voice. But now I like it because, I listen to Halsey, listen to her speeches, listen to her talk on interviews and everything, listen to everything and everything about Halsey and everything about her books and everything about her in general. She's an amazing human being, amazing songwriter and singer. She went through a lot in her own life. She has many medical problems she's facing today also. Well, I want to meet her in person and just give her a thanks and explain to her how much she got me to believe in myself. After my stepdad passed away, many things I went, Halsey was such an amazing person to look up to because my stepfather ain't here anymore. I still look up to him, but you know what? I look up to her. All the things she went through and overcame, and what she's doing today, I look up to her. And I want to give her the appreciation in person and tell her how much I look up to her and how much I appreciate everything she does for all the organizations that she helps, everything she does to reach out and help people that she helps. I want to give her that shout out. And not shout out, I'm not going to shout out her if I ever met her in person and got to meet her somewhere. I would say, thank you so much for giving me to believe in myself. Thank you so much for giving me someone to look up to. Thank you so much for helping everybody. That's what I'd be basically saying and stuff like that. But yeah. But I'm going to end this video soon because it's pretty long. If you made it to this part, this means you really do follow my channel. Or maybe you're new here and just watching it, but long story short. I even got arrested for trespassing at my own house. If you want to know about that, watch that. How I almost got arrested for trespassing at my own house. It's in my videos. You'll read about it. The police department where I grew up was crooked. After my stepfather passed away, I moved to a rougher area of the town. My mom and I had no choice because we couldn't afford the rent. It was $1,850 a month. My stepfather was paying for that house that we lived in. We couldn't afford that, so we moved into cheap apartments and stuff. A lot of apartments, but we moved into them and ran into some problems, and the police tried to arrest me for trespassing when I lived there. You want to hear about that? Check that out. It's in that channel. If you want to hear about all the things that happened when I was being bullied, check out my experience being bullied. You can check that out also. Now, you want to check out abandoned museums? I have Abandoned Shaker Museum on my channel. You can check that out. Abandoned Dirt Road? Check that out. Hiking through the woods? Check that out. If you want how to put a bumper on a car, I show exactly how to put a bumper on a car on my channel. The history of the tomahawk, you want to learn about that, that's in my channel. Hamster Wheel is the best song I wrote, but I can't sing that loud because sometimes I would put down and stuff by certain people that live around me and stuff like that, so I don't sing my truest potential. But Hamster Wheel is a good song I wrote. It's about finding ourselves in a spot in life, right where sometimes we don't know what to do, and life is just staying still, and we gotta get and find a new way of doing things to better ourselves. So you gotta get out of the hamster wheel that you're running every day and find something new to do with your life, and that's what I wrote that about. A Heart of a Soldier, about things I've been through. When You Look Into My Eyes is about things I've been through. The best song cover that I did a couple of those song covers, so you gotta look for it, is Justin Bieber. You Should Go and Love Yourself. Look for the one that I did. I did a couple of them. Some of them are not as good. One was excellent. Very good. I highly recommend checking it out. Highly recommend checking that out. Under my shorts, I have a song cover way, way down. I don't know the name of it, but a lot of them are not that good because I have to whisper or just talk the lyrics. But one I really got to sing good. It's by Brooks and Dunn. It says Connie came back after her second cousin wedding. First time she's been home in a year or two, just in time for the rehearse her dinner. That crazy Connie wasn't wearing any shoes. She's been to LA, flew to New York City. You can't take the honky tonk out of the girl. That's the name of it. But that ain't the name of the song cover. The song cover is song cover by Blind Singer or something like that, or song cover by this blind man. I can't remember. It's been so long, but I did that real good. Or Baby It's a Wild World, that's a good one that I did. An okay, that ain't as good as the honky tonk one, but Baby It's a Wild World, you can find on my channel. I try to turn my voice, like I've been practice on changing my voice around different ways, like different artists do, to try and find the true potential of my voice. But soon, I'm not saying where, I'm going to be going to a diner when I save up the money, and it's a very good restaurant, and you are going to be shocked when you see where I'm going. I'm not saying anything or saying anything, it's going to be a surprise, and I'm saving up the money so I can get there. I got to find where I'm going to stay for the night, like am I going to get a hotel, am I got to find somewhere that I can stay, maybe a friend that I know there that I gonna reach out to. I don't know what's going on yet or anything like that, but I'm gonna find a way, or maybe I'm gonna head home after, find someone who can drive me there and drive me back home after. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. But I'm gonna be going to a diner and I'm gonna have someone hold my phone as I do a live speech and other things, and maybe sing a couple of songs. Who knows? Who knows? It all depends on what they allow me to do there. And I can sing there my truest potential. My truest potential. And who knows? We don't know till that day comes. And I don't know exactly when I'm saving up the money, but I know I have the invite to go to that restaurant. And I'm very excited and very honored if you're watching this, because the person who gave me the permission to go to that restaurant, I know is watching my channel and subscribe to me. So shout out to you all. And it means a lot to me to have that opportunity to go there to your restaurant and get the opportunity to go and talk and stuff like that. And it means the world to me. And now my friend's place, where I'm donating more clothes for my birthday. I donated some for Halsey's birthday. Now I'm donating some for my own birthday. Now my friend's place, they said I can volunteer there when I get to Los Angeles. And I'm gonna find a way to Los Angeles. Even if I gotta take a train or a plane myself and take a Lyft or an Uber, I'm gonna go to my friend's place and volunteer to help them. I gotta find a place to stay when I get to California, yes. But I want to help my friend's place and volunteer. I would love to volunteer and help them for all they do and help children, like the teens and young adults. I love to volunteer and help them with things. It'd mean the world to me to do that. Too bad I couldn't get a job doing that, because I love that kind of job. That'd be awesome. I love helping people. Every day I love helping people. Hey, I'm guilty of it now. My mom says we're going down the road. There's free parking. Oh, stop the car. Then I'll go and knock on the door. I say, where? All right, I'll use my cane. There's a house on the right. Let's just say where. And I use my cane. I go up. Hey, what happens if this stuff don't get picked up? Is it going to get picked up today? Or, oh, if they say if it ain't picked up by the end of the day, we're going to throw it away. I say, do you mind if I take it and donate it somewhere? So now I'll take the free stuff and bring it up to places that give free stuff to families up here. And I drop the whole box off. I don't even go through those boxes. I just give them right to those people, those organizations that can use them. Because that's how much I love helping people. There was one time back when I was working before all my income and everything was taken away. My mom was driving me to work. My mom said, oh, there's a homeless person right there. I said, oh, okay. She's like, Joe, lock the door. There's a homeless person there. I said, why do I need to lock the door? I said, hang on, stop next to him. Put the window, hang on, unlock the window so I can roll the window down. And I said, excuse me there. Can you come here for a minute? And he said, oh, yeah. I said, well, I don't have no money to give you, because I know you don't give that money because you don't know if they're really homeless. I said, no, but I just bought this, and here's my lunch that I was going to bring into work today, and here's my breakfast that I didn't even get to eat yet. I just got it from Dunkin' Donuts. take my breakfast and take my lunch. No, 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 sir. You keep it for yourself. That means so much. I'll just take one little thing, a donut or something out. I said, no, no. I had 2 donuts and I had my. No, I'll just take 1 donut, sir. That's plenty. That's plenty. Thank you. I said, no, take the whole thing. And I noticed they were still there and they had ripped up everything. Next time I gave them a blanket. I said, oh, you didn't have to give me a blanket. And I always seen them, like my mom pointed out, she always seen the blanket. I used a little vision I had, and I'd see the blanket, and I'm like, wow, you still got the blanket? Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. And homeless people, nothing are wrong. Some homeless people have addictions, yes. And sometimes it is fault. There are some homeless people are criminals on the run, yes. But a lot of homeless people find themselves in unfortunate events that lead them into homelessness. Until you know why someone is homeless, listen to their story and find out why they're homeless before you judge them. Just like I got a saying, when I have kids, this is what I'm going to say. Don't judge someone unless you judge yourself. Until you walk in someone else's shoes, you do not have the right to judge them or point out their flaws. Until you know the experiences and the things they went through in life, it's not right to judge other people. It's not. It's wrong. And we should never judge others. Not at all. But I wanted to give you all a shout out today. This is Life Update. And if you want me to do any videos at all, comment below and I'll comment back to you and let you know if I can do them or not. Feel free to reach out to me if you want me to do a video along if it's good for families, because I keep my channel good for families and kids and all people. I keep it good content. So long if it's something good and stuff like that, feel free to comment below. Maybe an idea of a hike or something. Even if I can't do it right away, if it's a hike maybe a little bit away from me, maybe it's something I can do. Just give me a shout out on it. Just comment below and let me know. And thank you so much for taking your time out and watching one of my videos. And for everyone who's subscribed to me, thank you so much. You all mean the world to me. Thank you so much for being subscribed to me. It means so much to have people like you following me. It does. It means the world to me to have people like you watching my content. And I hope if you know anyone who's disabled, I hope the whole reason of this channel is to help build people's confidence, help build people up and let them know they are perfect the way they are. And that's the whole reason I got on YouTube. Not just to be on YouTube for people to see me. No, I got on to build other people up. To get people to see nothing's impossible in this life. Anything is possible if you believe in yourself. That's why I'm a YouTuber, and that's why I love getting my story out there and saying what I've been through. I look forward to seeing you all in the next cool video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet to see more awesome content. And remember, you are perfect the way you are. See you in the next video. Peace.
Stop recording video.